Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Next Gen Racing British Tour Car Championship. And this week we have full power back up and running, which is really good news because for a while we didn't have that. So we are back full service. Full service is resumed this week, which is really good. We are at the Brands Hatch circuit. We're doing the Little Indy. That's the little kidney circuit, which is absolutely fantastic as a little racetrack, which is, I'd say, is top brilliant. It's going to bring some brilliant racing for tonight. That's the Next Gen. It looks like it's having its own little wobbly. There we go. Now it's figured itself out. Fantastic. I'm your commentator, Andy Corley. That's me. I'm also the broadcast director as well. We do have some people in the background to get us on track to see what's happening. I will keep an eye on the socials as it progresses. That's where we are tonight, Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. It's in Kent. Not sure which part of Kent it's in, but it is there. The weather is fair. We are expecting rain tonight. Track temperature 19.1 degrees. Air temperature 6.9 degrees, which is absolutely cold as you can count. That's going to make the racing absolutely fantastic today. There's the schedule as it stands out. Practice for an hour. They've been practicing a very long time. I will be here basically for the next 5 minutes just to quickly run through the championship positions. It says Donington National on there. It isn't. What's Daisy? Qualifying's 15 minutes, starts at 8 o'clock, which is in about 2 to 3 minutes. Race 1, which is based off the qualifying position. Ballast is applied as well. Top 10 get ballast. Race 2 says it's about 20 past. Says it's 20 past 8. It isn't. Don't think that's right in terms of schedule. I think it's meant to be 20 past 9, realistically. Race 2 is 20 minutes long, and again, that is the starting positions are based off the finishing positions of race 1. Ballast is applied based on your finishing positions in race 1. So if you finish first in race 1, you get the maximum of 75 kilos on board. Race 3 is a reverse grid. I will be doing the draw between races 2 and 3. P6 to 12 is drawn out. Again, 20-minute race. Ballast is applied in race 3 based off the finishing positions of race 2. So it is set to be absolutely nail-biting for tonight. We have full power back up and running again, which is good. All my GPU settings are running. I mean, it's still running at about 70%. Memory is at 60%. So if you're thinking, Andy, is this game a heavy usage game? Yes. Yes, it is. It uses a lot of power for the drivers for tonight. Right, let's have a quick check over to the championship standings. So as it stands today, Lloyd Bidoff is leading, so he'll be starting with a maximum ballast on board. Then you've got Daniele in second, Mordini in third, Alberti in fourth, Romy in fifth. He was the quickest last time out. Changeable conditions. BMW, don't forget. Alex Axon, Alan, we'll just call him Alan Axon, in sixth. Robert in seventh, Massimo in eighth. Only penalty out last week was by Massimo. He's in the Jamie Dory number 13 car. Hopefully he's updated his livery. Darrow's in ninth. Simon Trebek is in 10th. Anton Tomenga is in 11th, Marco's in 12th, Fraser Rostance is in 13th, currently fastest on the board on a 47.039. Watch out for Fraser Rostance. Jamie Dory 14th, Poddy Flack 15th, Stu Neal 16th, Benny Norton 17th, another Marco in 18th, Rich Retherhill in 19th, Andre Toloska in 20th, was doing absolutely brilliant last time out. Lee Horn is 21st, Alex Ward is 22nd, Baz is 23rd, best looking car on the grid. He's even said that. You will see it. It's brilliant looking car. Love it. Carlo didn't race. Ian Deeney didn't race. Mario, Michael Crease, that is the touring car driver. Michael Doble, ex-touring car driver. Jean Petra in 29th. Jean Petra's in this week. And Phil Garside has also joined this week out. So everybody's in. As it stands out, there's the flags waving. They're going to go over to the qualifying session. That's why you're seeing all the game doing this absolutely odd thing at the moment. Right, we'll put the qualifying box on. Who is going to be my first driver? Now we've got the power. We have the full assortment of full over timing screens as well. So that's going to be exciting. As it stands out, 23 drivers are in the lobby at the moment. Right, who is the first driver on the sector? We're going to see as they come out on the board, and I'll see first driver through. They're all going out. There goes Antoine. So he's gone. Alex Axon is out in the pits. There he is at the moment. So we're keeping the timing board on the moment. So Fraser Rostans is out. I think he is first driver out. No, he's on the board. Green flag, green flag. There he is. There's Baz just ahead in that Toyota. Best looking car. Absolutely stunning. It's done by Mark Skies. If you haven't seen him already, he is on our Discord, so please check, like, and subscribe. And get yourself on. Mark is absolutely fantastic in terms of the designs. He's done Massimo's and Jamie Gory's as well, so they look absolutely sensational. Right, where are we going to go first? So it's going to be car 16. His first car through the field. So this is at the moment, looks like it's going to be the first. That's a lot of people going through the sectors at the moment. This is up to the right-hander. First gear corner, some people are very audacious through here. That is through the right-hander. Then you go down to Graham Hill Bend. You've got to keep it nice and tidy. Third gear corner, riding on board. And now we've got the power. We've got proper on board. Magnetic stuff. Right, first driver through that is Rich Weatherhill. He's going purple on the board, 19.32. Simon Trebek, Trip 6 Motorsport, going faster in the Honda, 19.110. Alan Axon's going faster. Andre's going faster. They're all going faster. Massimo's on the board. Rich Weatherhill was going to stick with Rich. He's going to put the penultimate time on the board as we go down the start-finish lane 2. Paddock Hill Bend, absolutely sensational. What's he do at the moment? Fastest, right. Where is Rich Weather? Where is Fraser Rostans? Not fastest in that sector at the moment. It is, well, it is actually. He's gone fastest, riding on board with him. There's Baz just ahead. Look at a great looking car. He's getting a lovely little tow here. It isn't worth that much in terms of what he can gain here. At the moment, Phil Garside's gone fastest, 47.231. 47.1 is what I'm expecting for the qualifying time here. What can Fraser Rostans do? Pops himself. Not good enough. Not good enough. Phil Garside at the moment is the fastest man on the road in the Honda. No, it wasn't there last time out. There he is. Right. The front wheel drives will have the advantage this time out. The rear wheel drives just won't be able to stretch their legs accordingly. So that's going to struggle. There's no Lloyd Biddulph, which is quite surprising. Championship leader not running at the moment. 23 drivers on the board. Who is going fastest? We're watching Phil Garside at the moment, fastest in 47. But he's not fastest. Lloyd is on the board. He's got into the third. I didn't see him. They're all absolutely running up on the board. Where's Benny Norton's gone second? Right, he's on a bit of a flyer as well. We're looking on the board. Where is Mark Skies? There he is. This is the man who's been doing the liveries at the moment. Slides in through Paddock Hill Bend into fourth gear. Then has to build up the speed. Target time 47.190. Phil Garside. That's what I was expecting to be the qualifying time in the 147. It's yellow in sector 3 at the moment. There is a driver off. There it is. I see it on the board before the screen sees it. Yellow in sector 3. Back racing again. Through the right-hander mark goes another yellow, sector 1 and sector 3, still yellows. So that's going to compromise him. That's not going to go any faster. He's not going to go any faster as it stands at the moment. So Mark Skies, that's it for him. As it stands at the moment, yeah, he's doing this 18.9, 13.2. He's not going faster. Axon is going, well, he was going fastest. He's purple in sector 1. Eddie improving. Simon Trebek's improving in the Honda. Number 11, through the right-hander we go. Needs to keep it nice and tidy here. Up, down to the start-finish straight. He'll be building up that speed, riding on board with him now. Right, Fraser Rostans is on it. We're riding on board. He is getting a little tow there from the Trip 6 Motorsport driver. Through the right-hander he goes. That's Surtees. Round. Ooh, he needed to sit down Graham Hill Bend. Does he keep it in the center? Is he going to need a brown trouser moment? There's yellow in sector 3. It's the car entering the pit lane. What can Fraser Rostans do here? Is he going to be able to get himself up from 22nd pole position of 47.057? Absolutely brilliant stuff. But Robert is going fastest. Well, he has gone fastest. Robert's got himself up into second position. Absolutely magnetic stuff there from Robert. That's what he needs to do to really push. He came alive last time out, Donington Park, race 3. So now he's going to have to try and prove this. He's Phil Garside. He's still fastest in sector 3, a 15.421. He's the only driver in the 15.42s. Everyone else is in the 15.48. Fastest Fraser Ross dances a 14.594. So it's not good enough. I think he could do it here. No, he hasn't done anything special in that open sector. Nothing special in that open sector. What's Jamie Dory doing? There he is in the number 13. Teammates to Massimo, who's currently higher up in the championship. He's in the Infinity pink looking car. Looks absolutely stunning, that car. Really, really good. PMR sponsors as well. Power Maxed Racing for Next Gen Racing at the BTCC Touring Car Series. We're at Brands Hatch. Let's how this stacks up. 9 minutes to go. They're going to put a couple of bankers in at the moment. Anton Tamanga is going. Taminga. I'm going to call you Anton. Easiest in the number 84. He's going a little bit faster now. Can he do anything from here? Really, I think it's going to be a challenge, if I'm honest, to get anything a little bit faster than that. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I don't think there's going to be anything in it. No, he gets a bit faster, but not good enough. He gets into 5th position. That's good enough for him. Andre Alberti has gone fastest at 46.967, and he's abandoned that lap. Didn't even see it on the board. He just licked the postage stamp and sent it straight into provisional pole position. Fantastic stuff. 8 minutes 27 seconds to go of the session. Quite a lot of drivers are now in the pits. Let's see what Lee Horn's doing. Again in the Dan Camish car, the number 27. The other driver, don't forget, who's riding around in the Ford Focus is Fraser Rostand, 2nd place. John Petra got himself up to 3rd. Lloyd Bidoff. Again, Lloyd is carrying maximum ballast on board that car, and that's really, really going to hinder him. It's going to hurt his chances of really being able to do anything from this time. So I think that's going to be something they're going to have to look at. So we'll see how that stacks up for tonight's racing. Right, and again a yellow in sector 1. Who's gone off in sector 1? So we do have again. They just go off the road. He needs to really get there. Yeah, he's not. He's nowhere to be seen really at the moment. He's just there as it stands. He's not really going any faster. And he's just holding on to the moment. What can he do? He's on a 47. Yeah, he kind of stays 12th as it stands at the moment. So yeah, he hasn't really done anything as it stands. So we'll see how that tracks itself for the rest of this evening. That's right. So, back across to going faster now. They're all just kind of holding stations at the moment. Romney was fastest last time out. Really, he was on fire in terms of his racing. Hasn't really sorted himself out. I think he's here and there at the moment. He's in the middle. So I think that's going to really hurt him. He has got purple in sector 1. Lloyd Bidoff is currently going fastest in sector 1. He's 7/10 of a second up on the fastest time. 18.615 in that sector. Fastest than anybody at the moment. There's only 3 other drivers in the 16s. And they're not really going any faster. What can Lloyd do? He was slower in sector 2, 2/10 up, crosses the line, goes fastest, and he's carrying sector 5. He must have absolutely done everything he can, but only 8/10 of a second faster than Andre at the moment. There is Andre, BMW front. This is rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive at the moment. He's going to have to go out. He's on his out lap. They're going to stick with Andre for this lap unless I see someone else going faster. Andre is faster in sector 3, 15.362 versus Lloyd's 15.371. Two drivers equal in Sector 3, Rostance and Tamenga, both 12.888 in Sector 2. But this man isn't fastest in Sector 1. He is, near as often makes no difference, 0.04 of a second slower. So he's going to have to really commit something. He's 0.8 up, this lap's abandoned. He's 0.8 slower, 1.16 second. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. As it stands at the moment. Riding on board now, well, he's in the pits, so it's going to make no difference. Where's Benny Norton? There he is in the Pepper Army car. You can't miss it. As it stands through the left-hander we go. Needs to keep it nice and tidy. Do nothing silly with the car. He should get himself through the right side. He's 0.7 up, so he lost 0.2. He's not going to lose a lot of time now. He's not going to go anywhere from that. Does he abandon the lap? Does he go in the pits? That's what's going to be really, really careful from there. Lee Horn goes up to 13. Dario's got himself up to 12. Benny Norton doesn't. There's no improvement there. Andre Romy is going fastest, his personal best in Sector 1. He's 18.647, which is a personal best. He's gone green on the board. Nobody else is green at the moment. Rostance Tamenga got himself into 3rd at the moment, so he's gone a bit faster. Rostance is still holding on to 4th, but he's in the pits, so that's going to be interesting. 3 minutes 52, so they've got time to get out and set themselves a lap. The question is, has he got enough time to get himself in and get out a lap? As we see one of the, that's Robert. Robert's gone off. Robert has gone off, and that's completely ruined Romy's lap. He's in 3rd at the moment, but this lap's abandoned. So if he hasn't got enough fuel on board the car, he's got to clean the tyres and build that up now. So that's really going to cost him. Andre is going fastest in Sector 1. He's gone personal best in Sector 1, but he lost a whole heap of time in Sector 2. So he's not going to really cross the line unless he's got something superb for Sector 3. He's going to be 47th. Yeah, no improvement really for him. He stays 2nd. But it was on. Right, Lloyd Biddulph has gone a bit faster. An 18.590. There's a yellow in Sector 3. I'm not sure who's causing the yellow, but they're probably going to go into the pits. Lloyd Biddulph there comes through Surtees and then around Graham Hill. So he's going to have to keep it really, really tight as he comes through here. Needs to be careful. Doesn't want to do anything silly here. Romney's got himself into 3rd, but he's in the pits. He's going to have to look at his setup and his fuel. Does Lloyd extend his lead? No, he doesn't. 46.881 doesn't. He's just using the he doesn't go any faster. Does not go any faster as it stands at the moment. Our early pace sitter, Phil Garside. Garside had gone a bit faster, but he just couldn't match that pace and maintain it. And it's not even that far off either. When you look at it, it's not that far off the lead. But at the end of the day, points equal prizes, and if he hasn't got any, well, unfortunately, that's really going to hit him. So, he's got it, isn't it? He's going faster, Dario's down there. He's going any faster as it stands. We'll just hold the stations. 1 minute 44 to go. If they're not in the pits, they will be very soon, predominantly because they're going to be in the pits, basically. I don't think they're going to go any faster unless there's something special or something absolutely magnetic they can do from here. I think that's going to be it, really. Nobody's really got a personal best. Lee Horn's got a personal best on at the moment. So he is done a personal best in Sector 1. Sector 2 was off. He did a 31.776, so he's Sector 2. Does he improve? Yes, he goes to 10th. So he's going to want to try and get there as quickly as possible, really, because if he can't, it's going to cost him. I think it's going to cost him valuable time. So nobody else. There's just nobody really going faster. With 49 seconds remaining on the board, unless they're out on track, they will not be going any faster. And that's just how it is. So it is what it is. There are some improvements going on. Jamie Dory's improving at the moment. He's got a little bit faster. Teammates to Massimo, don't forget, both wearing the same livery. Where's Massimo? Massimo's in 16th. Massimo's in 16th. So it's really improved either. It's kind of stationary at the moment. So yeah, it's all holding on to that with 9 seconds to go. So unless he's abandoned the lap, Lee Horn's up to 6th now. He got a personal best. He got the fastest time in Sector 3 of 15.343. But again, he didn't improve. There's no real improvements happening at the moment. Anybody going faster? No, Lloyd's in the pit. Andre's in the pit. Romy is going a bit faster, but he's abandoned the lap. Tamenga's now in the pit. Razor Rostance, he's gone to the pits. No, he's got himself into the abyss. Yeah, they're all diving into the pits as it stands at the moment. So, yeah. I think that is going to be the order. I have a funny feeling that will be the order. They're all in the pits except Lee Horn, and I don't think Lee Horn's going any faster. No, he isn't. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that is going to be the... That will be the qualifying times. 5 minutes 25 for warm-up, which is absolutely brilliant time. They got a bit of time. Lloyd Bidoff was fastest, as you'd expect. He's been absolutely on it since he started, basically. I know he's been focusing on that type of racing. He wants to focus on R-Factor 2, which is what he's doing. He's doing a superb and absolutely brilliant job on it. So, yeah. Brilliant stuff. Right, let's see if this works. If I'm back, no. So it turns out my camera's completely given up the ghost. So we don't have any cameras. Brilliant stuff. It is one of those. I will try and see if I can reboot the camera through the stream. But as always, these things happen. I'd have to probably restart OBS, which I don't think it's going to like doing. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's one of those things really. So we'll keep watching Razor Rostance as it stands at the moment. If you're new to the stream, hello and welcome. This is the Nxtgen Btcc Racing stream. That's it. It is the race series. It should be playing the intro, but it's turned out that it is decided not to do that. There we go. I'm your broadcaster and your commentator. The event today is the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit at Kent. We are expecting rain, which will make it super exciting, as you would expect. And we've got 3 races coming up for you today. Race 1 will follow shortly in about 3 minutes. They do a warm-up lap in that as well, which will be absolutely brilliant. I'm going to try and fix the camera as I go to see if I can get it to actually work, because, you know, it would be quite nice to actually have a web camera on one of these things. We are a live event, as always, and because we are a live event, these things just happen. There's nothing I can do, really. I've just got to go with it and see how it comes out. Go from there. So we're going to see. Oh, I think we've got a camera. We do. We have a camera and the back of my head. So we do have a camera, and we're just going to have to wing it. There we go. Hello, I'm on the floor, but I will be back. There we go. So we do have a camera, so I'm back. Welcome back to the box, the commentary box. We have full power this week out, so we're going to bring you the action. It's going to be exciting. Second week out for the Nxtgen Racing Series at Brands Hatch Indy. I love this track. It is absolutely brilliant as a racetrack. I prefer the GP than I do the little Indy circuit, but the Indy circuit being an only 47-second lap we're going to expect over 25 laps per race. The start is exciting. You've got to go down grade. When you go down Paddock Hill Bend, you've got to be full commitment in there. The rear wheel drives will have a little bit of tap at the rear wheel and they're gone. And then they go down the dip and they go up to Druids. Second gear corner hairpin. Absolutely brilliant stuff. One of the only overtaking opportunities on the racetrack, because as you come down into Graham Hill Bend, as you go towards Surtees, the problem you have there is that Surtees is a right-hander, and you can't really hang it on the outside because you'll end up in the kitty litter. It's a traditional race circuit, and there just isn't enough room for everybody. That's one of those things that happen. It is what it is. We've had to change the stream, so I can see quite a few of you that are in the comments are actually watching as it stands at the moment. So please like, and obviously don't forget to write some comments. I'm happy to talk to anybody in there at the moment. Predictions, Lloyd Biddulph is starting on pole position. So is my prediction going to be Lloyd? I don't know, because Andre was just fast, BMW fast. And 75 kilograms on board for Lloyd. Is he going to go backwards? Yeah, he is. I think he's going to suffer. But the rear wheel drives just don't have the same advantage as the front wheel drives do. It's a hard track to overtake at, especially at the Indy circuit. There's going to be some fireworks going into Druids, which is the second corner, which is the hairpin at the top of the hill. There is a high risk there that someone is going to end up in a wall. There is a high risk that people are going to be spun out. It is one of those things. That is touring car racing. There's always a little bit of door banging. It's just one of those things. Let us know in the chat. I can see a few of you. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to be who's going to take the win. I mean, Fraser Rostance as well has been doing really good stuff recently. I've seen him racing in other leagues as well, so that's going to be exciting. Phil Garside, super quick in the early stages. He was fastest in Sector 3. He just didn't materialise Sector 1 and Sector 2s later in the race. So, yeah, do I think he's going to develop? He could be. He's an unknown. So there's a lot to play for there, really. They're going to have to be fighting to get into the top, because they basically want to get as far forward as possible to give them that opportunity. So I think that's going to be exciting. There's just a lot to play for at the moment. Right, the warm-up session has finished. We will now go into the warm-up lap. So this is the warm-up lap. They'll get ready. They'll be given the 1 minute. The drivers will all go across to the right, and then we will go for the warm-up in preparation for race 1 of tonight's proceedings. It's going to be magnetic. It's going to be exciting. It just is. It's touring car racing. It's one of those things. So we'll see how it stacks up. Here they are. They're all getting ready on the pit as it starts. There's the BMW. It's gonna have a mighty thing, because Lloyd is front wheel drive, and then you've got Andre and Romy in second and third, both BMWs. Then you've got Temanga, in fourth. There's Fraser Rostance in the 27. Behind that, that's Lee Horn, also in the Napa Dam Kamenish car. I mean, it doesn't help they're both in the same car, but it's one of those things. And then you've got another T6 Motorsport driver at Jean Petra. So there's quite a few T6 Motorsport drivers in here. You've got Robert, who's in 8th. He was mighty in race 3, out at Donington, race 2 and race 1. Not so great, but it is one of those things. Right, warm-up lap as they go round. Here is your starting order for the Nxtgen BTC series. Lloyd Biddulph and Andre on first and second. Watch those BMWs. Andre's in third. Anton is in fourth. Watch them. They will be fast. Next row, fifth and sixth. Fraser Rostance, Lee Horn, teammates, both lining up on that row. John Petra and Robert in seventh and sixth on the next row. Seventh and eighth, sorry. Phil Garside, ninth. Alon Axon in 10th. Will be fast. Benny Norton, not good time out, in 11th. Stu Neal, not really set the timing screen to light, in 12th at the moment. Mordini in 13th, Rich Weatherhill in 14th, Dario in 15th, Massimo in 16th. Massimo, don't forget, I was mighty fast in the changeable conditions. Simon Trebek 17th, Jamie Dory in another 13th car in 18th, Marco in 19th, Mark Skies in 20th, bringing up that section of the field. The Marco in 21st, Alex Ward in 22nd in another Ford, and Baz in the best looking livery out there in 23rd. And that's how it stacks up your starting order as they finish up to get themselves ready for the opening part of the race. I want that one and I don't want that one. Hold on to your horses. It's going to be absolutely electric. Listen for the buzzers. It will be lights out and away we go momentarily. Let's see if the onboard is still tracking. It is. There at the front is Lloyd Biddulph in the Hyundai. Behind that, two fast-moving BMWs. It's all to play for. 20-minute racing. Very short lap, sub 46 lap. 6 seconds to go, 5 seconds to go. Watch the timing screen. Engine notes arise, and it's lights out and away we go. Absolutely brilliant stuff. The BMWs have had a perfect start off the line. Andre just holds it from Romy. Romy is alongside. Has he got the job done? Yes, he has. Romy's into second place as they're all streaming through Paddock Hill Bend, as they're all getting through. There's a little bit of squabble. It's off in the background. Dario's gone off in the background. He's managed to hold on to it, but Fraser Rostand is on the move. He's got himself up into 4th place. Yellow in sector 1. As you see in the back there, Roberts getting banged, all close up between the two drivers as they manage to sort themselves out. Yes, they have. But Fraser Rostands has a BMW. That is one of the BMWs has gone up into the hill. We'll have a look at that post-race. But at the moment, Fraser Rostands is holding his own. There's Andre. He's gone backwards off the start line. He started the first row. He's now gone backwards. And he's holding on to it as we ride on board with Anton. He's all the way there at the moment in 6th position. What can he do from here? Through the right hand of Paddock Hill Bend. Holds on to that just enough. The BMW's run wide. Andre's run wide. He's had, oh, there's contact. There's contact. He's absolutely binned it. He's gone full send. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cars all off the road. That one mistake has cost a large chunk of the field. Cannot believe it. There's no real wing on Marco's car, but he's holding on to it. The big winner from that was Fraser Rostands. He's just unrivaled, and Lloyd Biddulph must be licking his chops at the front as he holds on to that position. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him, but we're looking at Alonso down in 10th position. Alessio Mordini in new bad fastest lap by Lloyd Biddulph, 47.093. Absolutely on target. Here we go. This is on board with Mordini through the right hander of Paddock Hill Bend. Absolutely on it from nose to tail as we join Benny Norton on board through the right hander of Paddock Hill Bend. Can he do anything? But in the background, Massimo and all that lot are absolutely battling each other for those positions. Through the right hander, there's Massimo in 13th position. He is the laser pink racing car 1. That one, boom. Behind that is Mark Skies on board with him now. What can he do from here? 14th, he's got to attack and defend. 3 DNF, 4 DNFs on the board. Through the right hander of Surtees. Ooh, he's all over the wall. He's lost it. He pokes the throttle. Oh, he's made contact. There's contact in the background, and that's Massimo. Is that Massimo? I think it's Massimo. No, it isn't Massimo. It's somebody else. Sorry, and he's gone off as well. And that's allowed Baz up into 16th position. Is he going to go around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend? That's going to be the question. No, he gets the job done before then. He's just checked it and gone for it. He sent it and he's done it. Can he hold on to this going into Druids now? Down the gearbox, 5th, 4th, 3rd into 2nd. Hangs it out nice and tidily through Druids. Out of Druids, he goes down to Paddock Hill Bend. What can he do from here? He's going to have to try and attack the back of Dario, who's just ahead. And Dario is right on the back of Alex Ward. There's Alex Ward. He's also in a Ford rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive, which is also a front-wheel drive Honda. Honda versus Ford, 2 different manufacturers, 2 different nationalities, both front-wheel drive. Through the right hander down the Graham Hills on Graham Hill Bend. This is another bend. I've completely forgotten what it is, but that is the right side of Paddock Hill Bend. What can he do from here? I don't think he's going to be able to really attack because at the moment Dario is gaining. He is gaining. He's 0.3 of a second up, but is he going to be enough Romy's not really doing anything at the front. I think he's just holding on for his tyres at the moment. As we see Baz running off the road there. So he's going to really struggle, I think. Massimo's on the back of Jamie Dory. These two are teammates, number 13 and number 17. There is Massimo. Is it going to be team orders riding on board now with... Riding on board with Massimo. Jamie Dory just ahead. What can Jamie Dory here? Right, Fraser Rostance is on it. There it is. Fraser Rostance is absolutely doing everything he can. He is trying to get 0.2 of a second up, and Temanga behind is catching up 6-7 of a second as he holds on to that. This is the battle for second position. In second position is Romy. There he is, running on board now with Fraser Rostance through the right-hander of Surtees. Here we go, third gear corner. Needs to be no heroics. Ooh, a little bit of a sim twitch there through the right-hander. Up over the crest of the hill, just needs to hold on to this. Can he go faster? At the moment, Lloyd Biddulph has got 3.5 seconds ahead, so he has done enough for what he needs to do. The question is, can he do and can he go faster? Can he deliver this? Can he push? All he needs to push a little bit off the road there, so that's really going to hurt the driver ahead, I think. That's really going to, he's hurting. It's absolutely hurting. So Fraser Rostance now has Anton Temanga right behind him. It is Opel versus Ford versus BMW, two front wheel drives versus one rear wheel drive as it stands at the moment. So that through the right hander, he's just not making progress. He's just not making progress. But as we look at Benny Norton, he is slowly but surely catching these drivers. So that's Benny Norton, and ahead of Benny Norton, that's Lee Horn. And then you've got Anton Temanga. So Benny Norton is slowly but surely reeling in the other drivers. And that's because, at the moment, they are all clustered together. And that's the problem. They're slowing each other up now. It's 15 minutes remaining of this race, and they've really just got to get their heads down and get on with it. Because the problem is, as we ride on board now with Benny Norton, you can see here that he's just catching it. And as we ride on board with Lee Horn in 5th position, there's 4th, 2nd and 3rd. And that's the BMW. That BMW there of Romy is just not holding on to it. It's actually 2nd position, but it's not 2nd, it is 2nd. And that's what's really going to troublesome here. So Romy's really got to figure out what he's got to do. He's really got to think about whether or not he's going to be able to hold on to it. Because if he can't, it's just going to cost him so much time. And other things. And that's the problem he's got. So he's just not really going faster than anybody. He's not really pushing, he's not really developing. The only saving grace he's got is that Fraser Rostance, in that lead Ford Focus, the number 27, the one won the second car, the first car now, the Napa one, he's causing a blockage. He's blocking 3rd to 7th, really, because Jean Petra is slowly pushing him in. So that's going to hurt him. So they've got to think about this now, at this stage of the race. He needs to get his head down and just get on with it. Because if he doesn't, it's going to cost him a whole hope of points and a whole lot as it stands. So he's got to be careful, really. Right, Massimo is also making progress. So this is the, I say Massimo, Marco's making progress. There he is, right side. Marco's in that bright yellow Honda, you can't miss it. So he's slowly but surely starting to reel in the 2 Infinities just ahead. Through the right hander we go. The question is, can he go a little bit faster? Can he get a little bit more from this? That's going to be the question we're all asking. With 12 minutes remaining. Dory's gone off the road. Dory's gone off the road. He loses 1 place, 2 place. Jamie Dory made 1 mistake and Marco's just gone up the inside, ticked the box, and off he goes. Brilliant. He didn't have to do anything. In the background, Alex Ward is going full send. Or was that Dario? Dario was full send in the back of the corner. He managed just to hold on to it just enough to not pin it into the wall. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, Alex Axon and John Petra. Jean Petra is the car ahead. There is riding on board now with Axon. Ahead of that is Pascal Jean Petra. The Swiss driver Jean Petra. He's in 7th position. This is 8th riding on board now with. So he's trying to get in, trying to attack in a bit, trying to get a little bit further. The question is, can he do that? Can he actually get a little bit further? I don't think he can, because the two teammates will be holding station with 11 minutes to go. Tyre degradation will now be coming in. They all started on the medium tyres this time out, which means that they're going to have to think about whether or not how they're developing, as Jean Petre makes a mistake there, and that's going to surely allow Axel just to go on the inside into Druids. He's not going to fight it because they're teammates, but he needs to close the door. Jean Petre needs to close that door shut, because Mordini in the BMW is going to attempt to go up the inside. That's not going to work. Yes, it is. Oh, we'll have a look at that. Contact. There's contact and they're spinning. There's a BMW in the middle of the racetrack. 1, 2, 3. How many more go through? 4, 5, 6. Has he lost out to Stu Neal? Stu Neal's made contact with the back of somebody. Who's he made? Is that Benny Norton? No, Stu Neal has just made contact with somebody, and that's pushed him off. Now, he might be trying to avoid somebody, and maybe it was Mordini, but that's just, oh, it's got very messy in those opening laps. Right, back up the front, Romy is starting to reel in Lloyd Bidoff. Lloyd was 3.2 seconds. Near as enough makes no difference ahead of this man here, Romy, in the BMW, don't forget. He's now 2.4, 2.1. Has Lloyd got a problem? He's right on board with him. Let's see. All four wheels are pointing in the same direction, and he doesn't seem to have an engine drop noise there. Is he just losing time? Is it now that the ballast is starting to take effect? In the background, you can see Temenga is trying to go up the inside there of Fraser Rostance. Fraser Rostance is the car ahead. He's the Napa Ford. That yellow and black car, that is Temenga. What can he do from here? Through the right side, needs to be nice and clear and clean into Druids. No heroics. Nothing silly. Down into Graham Hill Bend, riding on board with him now. He's getting a bit closer. That's just dirt on the windshield. It isn't rain, but he's got the overspeed. He's got much more drive coming out of that corner through the left-hander, but it isn't a place to overtake. That's his problem. He just has more speed, more momentum, but he can't get there. He can't overtake third place man of Fraser Rostance. That's his problem. He just can't get there. He can't do it. And it's reset all over again. And Lee Horn riding on board with the Horn now at the back through Paddock Hill Bend. Through the right side, he flings the car into the right. A little bit of a sim twitch from the rear end there, but he keeps it nice and stable up the Druids. Here the gearbox, hits the brakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to second he goes. Right-hander through Druids, down, builds up the speed into third, into fourth, back down to third. Tab of the brakes, flings it into the left. He's a little bit closer now. He's closing the gap. He's getting there, but he's not there enough. That's the problem, because Anton is just faster in Sector 2, but the front battle is near as enough, makes no difference, less than a second. We will keep an eye on that as it unfolds, but we are following the battle at the moment for third, fourth and fifth. It's kind of hold stations at the moment. This is the battle for 18th and 19th. In 19th, Simon Trebek. In the number 11, just ahead of him is Mark Sykes, that's his name, Mark Sykes. These are getting closer and closer as well. Simon Trebek is getting a little bit closer. A bit of a shame, but that's just how racing is sometimes. But Simon Trebek is absolutely on it. There we go. A little bit of a glitch in our Factor 2, but it's sorted itself out. There's Simon Trebek in the number 19. It will sort itself out in a minute. It's just having a right old thing. The timing screen is live as it stands at the moment, but it looks like the server has completely kicked me out. We will quickly go back in and hold on to it. There it is. Hold on to your horses. We will be able to get back in. There we go. Get back in, join the server immediately. And we should be able to just hit spectate and get on with it as it stands at the moment. So it's loading back up. The board is still live. So the battle for the lead is down to less than 0.6 of a second at the moment. So as soon as it loads in, we will get the new data. Lee Horn, Anton and Fraser are still holding stations at the moment. They haven't changed positions. The rest of the field is new stuff, makes no difference. Is exactly where it was when we left it. It's loading up now and we'll be able to log in, see where everybody is. quite quickly as it holds itself on. So it's going to be absolutely all over it at the moment. So the board is loading as it stands at the moment. We'll see how it progresses, where it goes from, and go from there. As it stands at the moment, it's still loading in. We're going to have to wait for this to load in. Hopefully it hasn't been a whole reboot of the server, and it is just me. It is just the game just decided to boot me out for some really random reason. It's still loading. Everything is in there. I don't think it's restarting. There we go. We are back. So Lloyd Bidoff is still leading at the moment. Andre Rome is still in second, but he's less than 1/10 of a second. The battle is on with less than 5 minutes remaining of this session. Through the right-hander we go. Needs to keep it nice and tidy now. No heroics. Do nothing silly. From here, what can he do? He's a little bit of a twitch there as he goes down. Can he go through the right side here? Can he keep it nice and tidy, nice and clean? Yes, he can. Reset all over again. This is the battle for first and second as we ride on board. We've got the rubbish on board now. But it is what it is. This is the battle for first at the moment. Lloyd Bidoff, the car ahead. Just behind is Andre Rome, who's looking for that first race victory of the season. He was so close in Donington as it stands. But the question is, can he be quicker? Can he be that little bit further ahead? That's what's going to be key here. As they come onto the start-finish straight, less than 4.5 minutes remaining. They're going to get, at best, 6 more laps, including the one they're on. That's going to be key. That's what's going to really hinder them now. He's gone for it. He's gone up the inside. Surely this is going to be Rome. He just has to stop and rotate the car and then scrabble away at the front. He's got it done. Textbook manoeuvre there. Lloyd just didn't get a good drive off, but he's carrying a lot more ballast than any other driver, and that's really hindered him at the moment. So he's managed to just get a little bit ahead. He's pulled it and he's going to go for it now. And already Rome is 0.3 of a second ahead of the other driver, of Lloyd Bidoff in second position. So it's game over, really, I think. I think for now it's game over. I don't think Lloyd, he's 0.5. Lloyd will just be struggling. His tyres will be going, and he's just going to really, really struggle, I think, from this position. So through the right-hander he goes, and it's all done, I think. I think that without any failing is. Right, Jamie Dory is right on the back of Marco. Marco's in the bright yellow Honda. There is Jamie Dory. He's in the Infinity. As we ride on board now with Jamie Dory, just ahead of that is Marco. But these two have been at loggerheads, lap after lap, corner after corner. They've been stuck like glue for the entire 15 minutes, with 3 minutes remaining. Through the right-hander of Druids we go into second. You cannot miss that car. It says T2 Sim Project on the back. It's bright yellow and it's black. It's a great looking livery. Not as good as Baz, but I love a black and yellow livery. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Jamie Dory in as the car behind. He's in that number 13. Boom, there he is. Next Gen Racing. Ahead of him, that is Marco. Cannot miss it. Bright yellow Honda. Through the right-hander. This is the battle for 10th position. Jamie Dory wants that position. He's dying for that position because it needs more points for his championship campaign. But the Infinity is just far superior in Sector 2. But that Honda just gets a great drive off the final corner. And because it gets a great drive, it just manages to pull away absolutely brilliantly. Alex Ward and Dario in the background are fighting each other as well. Silly move there from Dario, unfortunately, in that number 78 Honda, second number 70 Honda. Silly move there, but again, nothing into it. He actually lost more than he gained from that manoeuvre. So Alex Ward, highest position so far, would be 12. So he's going to be wanting to hold on to this for the next 2 minutes 15 seconds. So he's going to be really wanting to see what he can do. Is there anything extra he can do? Is there something different that he can do? And it's all of those questions we'll be going through now. All of those things will you be thinking about. Is it something I can do? Is there anything better I can do? And I don't think there is. I think Alex Ward's just got to hold on to it because Dario now has a recovering Robert behind him. Robert is in the Laser Infinity there. He's the number 16 Moffat car. Behind that is Mordini. And Mordini, don't forget, started at the front of the grid. No, he didn't. He started in the middle of the grid. So he's making progress, but he wants to make a little bit more progress. And that's the trouble he's got, is that he's really struggling to get past the guys in the gaggle of cars in front. It isn't an overtaking track. It's not good for overtaking. And that's the problem. because it's not good for overtaking, it doesn't really have many choices. As we ride on board with him now, he's in 15th position, and he's fighting that car ahead. That is 14th, 13th, and 2nd. And there's the extended battle you can see at the moment. He's just trying to fight 12th, 13th, and 14th. And he's just getting nowhere at the moment. Alex Ward there could be losing the position. There he is. He's got Dario up the inside once again. That was he's just dive bombed him up the inside. And Robert's going to have to get out of the way. Flashing lights there. We will have a look at that post-race. I did manage to get there. Now, I don't know if there was something left there in the past because he just stoved it up the inside and hoped for the best. Very naughty, but we will have a look later on post-race. But at the moment, Alex Ward is going to have to try and hold on to that position. There is Alex Ward. He's in 13th at the moment, just behind him. That is Mordini in the BMW as we ride on board now with Mordini. Andre Romney's just gone past us, but Lloyd Bidoff still holds it at the moment. Yeah, he's lost a load of time there. He's got past Alex Ward. No, he hasn't. He's gone onto the grass. Just as we went on board to watch the overtake, he went past the guy. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Mordini's got himself up into 13th. Alex Ward back to 14th. The question is Robert going to hold him in to Bast? This race over, 0 laps remaining. Romy is on the last lap at the moment. The field, near as this makes no difference, is a bit... Yeah, we'll watch this as it goes through, and I'll keep an eye on the board, see if anyone can get closer in the final stages. But I think this will be it. I think Romy has done what he needs to do. He doesn't hold the fastest lap, though. The fastest lap was Lloyd Bidoff at 47.017. Andre Romy is fastest on 47.276. So he's the fastest driver at this time. So there's still speed to be had. So Lloyd would be my winner for number 2, I think. Lloyd would be the one I would take for race 2 as he crosses the line now. Into first it goes. Brilliant drive from him. So Andre Romy takes first position. Lloyd Bidoff will come home. Lee will be ecstatic with third. Fraser Rostance is in 4th. Temenga's in 5th. Benny Norton holds on to 5th. Axon made progress into 5th. John Petra hasn't crossed the line yet. He will cross it in 8th. Massimo will get 9th. Marco just holds on to 10th from Dory in 11th. Dario is in 13th. Mordini's 13th. Ward is 14th. Robert has recovered in 15th. Stu Neal, not really covered him. He's down in 16th. Baz will be in 17th and ecstatic with that. Mark Sykes will be in 18th. Simon Trebek will bring the car home in 19th. We had 4 DNFs from Andre Alberti starting 2nd, Rich Weatherhill, Marco Bentili and Phil Garside bring home the field. And that's how it stacks up at the moment. Brilliant race. There's always lots and lots of talking points to go through. We will obviously go across to the main feed in a bit, and we will have a look post-race at some of these things as you would expect. Many talking points as always. As I say, we only ever look at one. I can only ever look at one camera angle. I don't have the ability to go back and look at replays, unfortunately. So my analysis is always based on what I can see, and that's the way it is. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm just saying that's the way I look at it. So we will load that up and have a quick look at what we got in the replays. I really want to look at that one on the last one because I'm not sure that was a clean overtake. Just the way it was you can't really argue that he outbraked himself either. So it's quite of a tricky one, to be honest, I think. And as always, there'll be lots and lots of talking points in terms of it. It's just one of those things, really. Right, we're going to go across to the thing. I will load in my camera because if you haven't been watching, my web camera decided it didn't want to be a web camera anymore. But we have this one. And we'll just quickly put it in the box. You don't get this in the real touring car stream. Well, you do sometimes. And there we go. Right, back to the box as they all figure themselves out in here. And obviously, it will get restarted and whatever the stuff else is going on. Right, as always, we're going to have a quick look now I want to have a look at... Is this the overtake? Yeah. So this is the overtake, and this is the overtake I wanted to look at. So the server's going to be reset momentarily while they look at it, and we will go into this. So this was the overtake. So we were on board with Alex Ward, and behind that is Dario. So again, for me, it all comes down to the B pillar. Yeah, it's a kind... that's a tough one for me, because the issue is that I can't see the B pillar. Now, he's technically... It all comes down to if he's at the B pillar. That's the way it depends on different leagues that you race in. But for me, it always comes down to the B pillar. If the driver's at the B pillar, technically he's allowed to that space of road. Now, Alex has left him enough road. There isn't not enough road there. So he has gone into the gap, which he's entitled to do. Alex has left him enough room. And at this point, yeah, he makes contact with... Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, that's a tricky one for me, because... It's tricky because if it's not the B pillar, then yeah, it's a tricky one really, because it all comes down to where the B pillar is. That one I'd have to get some more data on, and I'd have to leave that one for the stewards. From that angle, I would say 50-50. I wouldn't say there was anything else into it. I would say it was 50-50, to be honest. What's this one? So this is the accident. So this is Alberti. So yeah, he has an accident all by himself, really. There's not a really lot I can add to that. Yeah, he's trying to come back on track. See, the problem is he comes back on track at this angle, and you've got two cars going dead straight, or that one's going that way. And the problem is, as he comes back on, he takes completely the wrong angle, and there's contact. Yeah, for me, that's a done deal for me. Yeah, that's a done deal, really. He's got no one else to blame but himself. Yeah, Alberti's got no one else to blame but himself. And by that point, he's a passenger. So we flip, and then he comes across, and you've got the entire field is going up here, like this. They try to get out the way. He collects Richard Weatherhill, I believe. Nope. He collects Stu Neal. Yeah, that's Stu Neal. There's Rich Weatherhill. There's Robert. And he just collects a bunch of people. It is what it is, really. I'm not sure why the warm-up has stopped, but it has. We might have to check to see if this is actually still working. Oh, no. It's had a full game crash. Well, that's good. So we're going to have to reload R-Factor 2. If we haven't guessed, R-Factor 2 is a bit buggy. It's a little bit buggy, and it's decided to have a full game crash, which is always helpful when you're doing commentary, as you would expect. So let's see if we can boot this out and get back into it. Close window. Come on. We might have to go to the taskbar, which is what we're doing at the moment, and we're going to have to force the shutdown and go for it again. A bit of a shame. Unfortunately, that's just how R-Factor 2 is. We're going to end the task. There we go. We'll go back to the solo Discord so you can watch me as we reload R-Factor 2. I'm not sure if anyone else gets these problems when they play R-Factor 2. It's just one of those things. It happens from time to time. We are a live show, as you'd expect. Lloyd in that racing was absolutely superb. He drove superbly. The problem I think he had was that the maximum ballast of 75 kilos on board, I think that hurt him within the second half of the race. and he just struggled. He just struggled to get anywhere from it. And yeah, R-Factor 2's completely crashed. It won't even load up at the minute. Well, this is going well. There we go. Give it a bit of patience. Here we go. It does happen. There we go. R-Factor 2 is back up and running. It does happen. These things happen because, again, so Lloyd's, he's just fast. So Romy was absolutely on it as well. He was all over it in that second race. So there is a real opportunity, I think, for him to make real progress. The question is he going to make enough to get away from Lloyd? Because Lloyd is going to be, oh no, I'm in the drive server. I don't want to be in that one. Let's go back. So yeah, I don't know if he's got enough. You'll have enough gap to go further. I don't know. That's the problem, because there's changeable conditions that are coming, so that's obviously going to affect everything as well. Where would I put my 50p? But you've also got Fraser Rostance, who's starting third as well. And Fraser Rostance is fast. The problem Fraser had is that if he gets the rage, unfortunately, he can lose concentration. And because he loses concentration, it then gets... He just loses speed. And I've seen it in other leagues that I've watched him in. And that's really affected him. So, I don't know. That's the problem. That's going to be the big problem here, is who is going to take it? And then you've got a Trip 6 Motorsport driver behind that as well, but then you've got some recovering BMWs. So where would I put my 50p? Where would I put my 50p? Fraser Ross. No, Lloyd. Would I put my 50p on Lloyd? Because, but Lloyd took fastest lap. I'd put it on Lloyd. I'd put my 50p on Lloyd. That's where I'm going to put my 50p. My 50p is going to go on Lloyd. Because he's just fast. He's just faster than anybody at the moment. So, yeah, that's where I put my 50p. It'd be going on Lloyd. So, that's where I'd put it. I wouldn't count out Fraser Rostance either. I mean, he's quick, but the problem with Fraser Rostance is consistency, and now he's got ballast. So if you're just joining us, we, as always, race 2 isn't far off. That's me. I'm Andy Pawley. I'm also the director of tonight's proceedings. In terms of the commentary, we are at the Next Gen Racing Series. It's the BTC series that we are doing. We've already had a little hip up with R-Factor 2, so I'm going to have to explore why it keeps kicking me out. I don't know why. We just had a full-on meltdown, which was very helpful for a bit. But we are back, and we're carrying them, watching the main racing action, which ultimately is what we're all here for. So, in terms of where we are, I don't want that one, I want the event. We are at the Brands Hatch circuit, that's where we are. Temperature's fair, we are expecting rain this evening. So we've had a look at the weather. And in race 2, it is cloudy with a 24% chance of rain. So race 3 is light rain showers and a gentle breeze. So if you're wondering how do we decide, or how is the weather decided in terms of what they do, they basically look at the event from 24 hours before, and whatever the weather was of the real race circuit 24 hours before, that's what we do. That's how it goes in. All races are 20 minutes long. There's 2 more races to go tonight, races 2 and 3. If there's anybody in the commentary box, obviously we will try and get them in there, but they tend not to go into the commentary box at the moment. Race 1, always lots and lots of talking points, which is why I'd always say you just have to look at what I don't know what's going on with that. You just have to take a look at basically go back and look at a bunch of other things, and there's different angles and different issues. I mean, that Dario on Alex Ward, depends where he was. He left the door open, and technically he did have time to put it off someone. The Andretti one was an accident all on his own. There's not really much you can say to that. He went off coming out of the bend, tried to rejoin on the wrong course. It could be that the BMW couldn't turn it, otherwise he'd spin it, and then he was just a passenger. And that cost him a whole host of points. Romy's on form, and then we've got some unknowns with Leanhorn and Fraser Rostance as well. So it's going to be exciting, I think. Races 2 and 3. Don't forget, between race 2 and 3 we are doing the reverse grid, P6 to P12 from the finishing positions of race 2. The ballast does change between each race. So race 2, the ballast is based off finishing positions of race 1. Someone else has just jumped in the server, Jean Petra. That's why every so often it has a little bit of a moment and it decides to stop itself, basically. So it's all to play for, really, on this section, on where we are. Again, it's going to be tough. I mean, there's some big Massimo, who was on form last week. He hasn't really been there this week, unfortunately. Robert unfortunately got himself up. Robert in the Infinities in the pits at the moment. He got himself caught up in a couple of incidents, and that just cost him time, cost him lap position. So yeah, it's still there, and it's still all to play for at the moment. But we'll see how it pans out. But my money's on Lloyd. My money would be on Lloyd. If he can lead into the first 5 minutes, I would put Lloyd for the win, personally. Romy just hasn't been fast enough to create the gap. I mean, what Romy was, yes, he did win race 1, and he was knocking off 2 to 3 tenths of a second within the closing stages of the race, but he didn't really push anybody. You've got this man here at the moment, Mordini. But the question is, what can Mordini do? Because unfortunately Mordini isn't great. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And if it rains, it'll be even tougher, a little bit of spark then. Because if it does rain, they're going to have to make the choice whether to go into the pits and change tyres or stay out and hang it out. Because the track will change, it will evolve. If it's just light showers, if they've got temperature, the front wheel drives will be superior. But the minute that the conditions change again, the rear wheel drives will be superior. We saw that at Donington, where in the final race, the top 5 were all BMWs. They were just faster than anyone. So it's going to be interesting to see a little bit of a twitch there. The track temperature has cooled slightly now. So the BMWs are going to have to light their tyres up quicker, but their rear wheel drive, they just will have a lot more understeer than the front wheel drives. Oversteer, they'll have a lot more oversteer. And the front wheel drives will have understeer, but they've got to do their warm-up prep when they get to, as we see Mordini losing it. And that's the problem with the BMW. You go anywhere near the kitty litter, you push it too hard, and it'll snap it, it'll bite. It's a tricky car to drive, but if you can get the maximum out of it, it's absolutely on fire. As we have a quick look now over across to Neil. He's in the Pepper Army car. Benny Norton, Pepper Army car. He's there with Benny Norton at the moment as we look at 16th to 20th. There's 22 cars currently on field as it stands at the moment. Through the right-hand door he goes. challenge now is they've got to get into top 12. So if you're starting 12, you have to work up to 7. So it looks like there is a bit of rain coming down. Let's ride on board now with Stu. Yeah, so wiper is on. So the BMWs are going to suffer. But again, weather conditions say changeable, so it's light drizzle. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it stacks out, because there's just, I don't know which one is going to be superior, because the only running I've seen of some of these drivers is at Donington last week out, and they were absolutely on fire in the changeable conditions, but they weren't, when it was wet, the front wheel drives just drove away. And that's going to be key here, because Fraser Rostand and Lee Horn have a real opportunity in third and fourth to leapfrog the BMW and get themselves into another position on another podium. The problem they're going to have is if the wet weather goes away. But overtaking is difficult here. You've really only got one overtaking move, and you have to set them up halfway around the track coming out of certain to pull the manoeuvre off. And if the person you're racing takes a brave pill, you haven't got that opportunity. It doesn't exist. So yeah, it's going to be very there's a lot to play for at this at the moment. There's still 6 minutes left. At some point they're going to kick us into the practice session, into the warm-up, and they will just start. There's Lee Horn starting on the second row. Wiper is ablaze. He always runs it wide there, so I don't know if he's trying to see if he's got a little bit extra grip out now, but coming out of Graham Hill Bend, he always runs wide. Which is a very risky manoeuvre, really. So he's just going to go to the pits there. He's either run out. Yeah, I think the changeable conditions has really pushed it from that section, and that's the thing. They're out there just practicing. They'll be doing race pace practice as well, rather than road practice, because they've got to build up. They've got to get used to the conditions. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will be a wet start, but if there's rain now, then yes, I would think we're going to have a wet start. If it dries up, then it's all going to be about what tyres are left, because with a 47-second lap and a pit stop tyre change of over a minute, I don't think it's really going to help them in any way, to be honest. So we'll see how it stacks up. But they've had the full 20 minutes this time out, as he sells himself off into the pit. So at the moment, there's no drivers on track. Everyone is... they'll have 1 minute to go until we have the starting lineup. And hopefully we can go through the starting lineup and get that set. Let's see if it's actually twigged this time out. Yes, it has. Good. So it has actually set the timing, which is good. So it's going to be a lot to play for this time out. Again, I don't know. It's going to be the conditions. It's all going to come down to the weather conditions. Because if it's raining on track, that BMW is going to struggle with 75 kilos on board. If it's not raining on track, and it's a changeable condition, the BMW should take the victory. Lee Horn and Fraser Rostand are mighty fast, and they've got less ballast than Lloyd Bidoff. Lloyd's carrying ballast on board, but Lloyd is mighty fast. They're all going to get themselves ready. So the track is wet at the moment. It's damp. You can see it in the picture, in your screen there. It's not raining at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be a damp race. And that means that is going to change a lot of how they approach the corners, how they can accelerate. The saving grace is that the BMW does actually start on the correct side of the grid, where on a lot of other games they do not, as it stands. Right, in terms of your start order, here is your starting order. So for race 2, Andre will start first, followed by Lloyd. Lee Horn and Fraser Rostance in third and fourth. Watch those two. Fast moving, I would think. Next row, you have third row, you've got Anton Semenga, also fast, and Benny Norton. He's been in a bit of wars, but watch out for him. Fourth row, Alan Axon and Pascal Jean-Petre. On the fifth row, you've got Massimo, followed by Marco, and then Massimo raced to specialist last time out. Watch him, he could go fast. Jamie Dory and Dario on row 6. Row 7, we have Mordini and Alex Ward. Row 8, we have Robert and Stu Neal. Stu Neal's not really been second the time in Screen to Light, but it is what it is. Then we've got Baz, followed by Simon Trebek, followed by Andre and Rich Weatherhill to bring up row 10. And on row 11, we have Marco Benedini and Phil Garside, and bringing up the rear of the field is Mark Sykes. And that's how the starting order progresses for race 2, 20 minutes. We've already got a driver that's got into the pits. I think that driver is going to change their tyres. That's Lee Horn. So Lee Horn is changing his tyres. Lee Horn has gone for a tyre change immediately because he's going to want to try and see if he can actually get a much better start. So that's going to be interesting to see if he can do that, if he can deliver that. It means that we've already lost one driver. The question is, are the weather conditions going to stay long enough? Is it going to dry up quick enough that he can make that much progress? There he is. He's back on the grid now. I think it was just a lane glitch. 3 seconds to go, engine goes to rise. Do they all get out? Lights out and away we go. And Lloyd Biddulph has had the worst start imaginable. You've got the 2 Next Gen Racing boys scrolling up the inside. Lloyd Biddulph has already lost one place. Does he lose another place? There's a tap at the rear corner. That's going to allow him to run wide. Lloyd Biddulph has run wide. He's lost another place. Does Temenga mug him as well? Yes, he does. Temenga in the 84 is going to go up the inside of Lloyd Biddulph in that Trip 6 Motorsport car. And has he done it? Yes, he has. Brilliant stuff. Is that Robert Kummer off again in the background? He just holds on to it just enough. Robert's behind. There he is. There is Robert. Oh, there's contact again. Rich Witherhill in the recovering. It's very, very slippy. They might have all chosen the wrong tyres. As it stands, rear-wheel drive will be suffering. He's gone up the inside. Can he hold it just enough? He gets a tap, and in the background, there goes Phil Garside. Does he manage to do anything from here? He's alongside the other of Simon Trebek. There's Trebek, they're 2x2. There's a car spinning in the middle of the track. There's massive contact all over the place. Jamie Dory has spun off the road. That's going to be nil bueno at the moment, as you've got another BMW going off in the background. That's Marco Ventini. He's gone off as well. Cannot believe it. He's gone off. You've got Andre Alberto with that engine's blown. That engine is only going one way, straight back to the pits. As it stands at the moment, Lee Horn is leading the race. He's got past Romy. As it stands, we didn't see it on stream, but he's got past him into the lead. There is Lloyd Biddulph, who's going backwards as we ride on board now with Fraser Rostance. This is 4th position. There is 3rd. Lloyd is all getting mugged. The track conditions are changing. There is a little dry line forming at the moment. It isn't raining, but it is wet. Lee Horn, fastest lap, 52.035. Lee Horn's run wide. Lee Horn has run wide. He's taken himself off into the kitty litter. He's handed the lead back to Romy. How many positions? 1, 2. Does he lose out to his teammate as well? No. He was leading the race. He made a mistake all by himself. Back to 3rd he goes. He'll be raging in the helmet. Massimo really struggling with the rear-wheel drive on that Infiniti. He's in 8th position. Yellow in sector 3 at the moment. He's struggling with that, and that's costing him time. Massimo up to 8th at the moment, but he needs to get a little bit more progress. He's hoping that the track's going to dry out, and then he can make hay. This is the battle for the lead at the moment. Lloyd Biddulph in 2nd position. Just ahead is the BMW of Romy, 75 kilos on board that rear-wheel drive BMW. Where's Lee Horn? He's watching from the back. Lloyd Biddulph has just set the time, but he's gone wide again. He's gone wide again. 3, 2, he's all the way down to 5th, 6th. He's down to 6th position. So he's given it off to Benny Norton, and Temenga have mugged him as now. So Fraser Rostance, I told you,
Fraser Rostans, watch out for him. He's into third. Now he just has to get the head. Basically, he has to put the hammer down. It's hammer time now. If he wants to get this top 2 finish, he has to get gone, because Tmenga is making progress in the background. He is really starting to close that gap up. As we go back now to Dario and Phil Garside, there's Phil just ahead, and there is Dario right behind. So those two are battling each other at the moment. But the big battle is all the way back from Massimo. So this is Massimo. He's fighting Alex Axel, Lee Horn, and Ben Norton. They're all kind of clustered together as it stands at the moment. Lloyd hasn't really made progress on Romy, and at the moment Benny Norton is in the middle. You see the BMW there of Mordini trying to go up the side of Massimo. Massimo is the number 17 laser, 1-2 third car in the row. Just behind that you can see Jean Petra and Stu Neal fighting out at the moment, but at the moment you have 2 rear wheel drive BMWs. There's Benny Norton followed by Lee Horn, Axel, and there's Massimo. But we're riding on board now with Mordini. Mordini in 9th position. He's trying to fight and battle down 8. There's Massimo. Massimo's made a mistake. He's gone wide. That's allowed him up, and you can see Lee Horn is about to get mugged by Axon. Axon's gone up the new fastest lap. There is Alex Axon. At the moment, he's gone past through the right side, manages to hold on to it. 1/4 of the race gone. And you also see Benny Norton. He's trying to go up the inside of Tmenga as Fraser Rostans makes a mistake. He makes a mistake all by himself. 1-2 positions locked. Anton Tmenga finds himself in 3rd position. He's absolutely cooking it at the moment. Magnificent stuff. It's all still to play for. Benny Norton's up to 4th highest position so far at the moment, so he's going to be really wanting to hold on to that. The question is, can Fraser Rostans and Lee Horn, can they find any pace? Because at the moment, riding on board with Bonnie, with Massimo, you've got the BMW there of Mordini, who's going on the attack now in the back of Lee Horn. Lee Horn is the driver ahead. That is Lee Horn, the number 21 Ford Focus versus the rear-wheel drive of Mordini. BMW versus Ford, and he's just got a much better drive. He's got a much better drive coming out Paddock Hill Bend. Unless Lee does anything silly, there should just be a job done, really. Yeah, he's just taken it, and Lee Horn's gone wide. He's gone wide again, and that's lost another position. I wonder if they put themselves on wet tyres. I wonder if they're on the wet tyres, because all the other drivers are just going faster and they're just going backwards. So I think there's a tyre choice in there. Be interested to see if we can find that out post-race, if it was a tyre choice. But he's going to get mugged by Jean Petra now. Jean Petra and Stu Neal are going to mug him. Lloyd Bidoff is going faster and has taken the lead. We didn't see it on the stream, but he is now leading as it unfolds at the front. So I think Romy must have made a mistake. As it stands at the moment, I think Romy had made a mistake. Yeah, he's made a mistake. Well, he's not made much of a mistake because he's starting to close the gap back again. So he was nearly a second behind. He's now 5 to 6 tenths of a second behind. Anton Tmenga's nowhere to be seen at the moment. He's not really making any difference. But Lloyd Bidoff, yeah, he's getting a much better drive. We'll watch that as it unfolds. As the track conditions evolve, the BMW might get a much better drive, but again, they're kind of trading places because of the weight difference. And that's what's going to cost them a lot of time and a lot of points, is if they make one mistake, one issue, one problem, and that man there will be off the track, and he will be gone. Rich Weatherhill at the back, he's not really making any progress as he stands at the moment. But Dario and Phil Garside, Phil Garside is the car in front. There is the Marco behind him. Marco's in the bright yellow Honda, and then the Honda number 17 riding on board with him now. This is Dario, we're riding on board with him now. Just ahead of that, that is Phil Garside. First time racing, didn't race at Donington. He did set early pace in the qualifying sessions, but not enough. But Robert is on the move. That's Robert in the Infiniti number 16, the Moffat Laser Tool racing car. Ahead of that, that is Alex Ward. Ooh, a rear-wheel drive slip there. Can he get a drive here? Can he get a much better drive off the line? He does. The question is, can the man ahead, which is Alex Ward, can he hold on to that position? That Infiniti is looking left. There is a dry line now appearing. So, and that's one of the, that's one of the, is that Alex? No, that's Lee Horn. That's Lee Horn. He's absolutely, completely miles past. Mark Scott Sykes, he's in the Opel. He's trying to get past here. Can he do anything from here? I don't think he can. He's trying to hold on to it. He's trying to do something a little bit different. He's looking left. He's looking right. But I don't think he's going to sail it up the inside. John Petra's gone off the road in the background as well. He was the driver that was in the drink, and he's now really in the drink. He's crashed into the wall. And that rear-wheel drive is just struggling. They're all struggling. The rain is now coming, so the question is, did they have wet weather tyres on, or did they have dry tyres on? Romy is around 87 tenths of a second. Oh, there's contact. I think he lost it. Ah, does he collect anybody else? Yes, he does. Bing, bang, bosh. Massive accident. Roberts collected a number of the cars. Who else is collected? He's collected Phil Garside. He's been collected. Marco, he's in the pits. They've all dived into the pits now. The question is, are they going to dive in the pits to change onto wet weather tyres? It is absolutely hammering it down on track. There's half of the race to go, so if they have wet weather tyres fitted, they're going to be on it. So Rich Weatherhold, Marco Bentini, Jean Petra, all in the pits. I think they're just going to go for one last ditch attempt, really. Benny Norton's now up to third. He's held on to it, but Romy has absolutely given it everything. So the battle for the lead is not over yet. Romy is closing the gap. Lloyd Biddulph isn't going to be in a position, I don't think, to defend this. He's gained on that last lap. He gained 0.2 of a second. 0.2 of a second he gained. Lee Horn is now back out of the pits. He's down in 18th position. The question is, did he have wet weather tyres on? Was he hoping that it was going to rain? Because the weather forecast did say high risk of showers. But Andre Romy in the BMW riding on board now has got the gap down to less than 0.5 of a second. He just seems to be master. Oh, yellow in sector 1, yellow in sector 1. They're going to have to slow. It's game over. He's got that done. Lloyd Biddulph, he's struggling. He's struggling now. The battle for the lead. The BMW. The question is, if it goes too far into the wet, he won't be able to catch it. Mordini is the fastest driver on track in 4th position. He's done a 49.348 last lap out. He is faster than anybody. And he's faster than anybody. Near as enough makes no difference by nearly a second. This man is on the move. The question is, how far can he get forward now in the closing stages of the race? Fraser Rostance is starting to make progress now as well. I wonder if he had wet weather tyres on. I wonder if that's why he wasn't pushing it. Right, Dario Rafferty is right behind Marco, both driving the Hondas, Honda versus Honda, both front-wheel drive, starting to find some real pace now in these changeable conditions. The question is it going to be changeable enough? Is he going to be able to close that gap in the closing 8 minutes of the race? There's another car off the grid there. That's Simon Trebek, I think. Yes, it is. Trebek's gone off the road as well. And he's just gone backwards. So he's down in 11th position. He's lost a whole hope of points there. So he's going to be absolutely livid. Alex Axon is now Fraser Rostance went off the road. They're all scrabbling off the road because they're so close. Stu Neal there. I think he's just taking a different line. He wasn't actually off the road. He was just taking a completely different line. And that's the problem now. They have to really drive these conditions because if it dries up, it's really going to struggle. Jamie Dory's gone into the pits. You can see there it's nearly a lap. He'll be a lap down. I think he's just gone for a Hail Mary. Tamenga's in the pits. Rostance is in the pits. I think a lot of these drivers are now going into the pits. Romy is right on the back of Lloyd Biddulph. The track conditions are absolutely... the water is streaming down at the moment. So they're going to have to go... If they've not on wet weather tyres, they're going to have to pit. Or they're going to have to hang it out to dry, because you lose in the pits. You're going to lose. They're on the board now. Near as enough makes no difference an entire lap. So if you can maintain that speed, if you can hold on to that speed, then you just keep going and going and going. But with 6 minutes 53 seconds remaining, I think the two leaders are just going to hang out to hope on. But Mordini in the background, he's just going faster, faster and faster. So he, on that last lap, was 5/10 of a lap quicker than the leaders. But we're going to watch the guys who've put wet weather tyres on. Those are the guys that we're going to be watching, because that will give us the true pace. Riding on board now, Alex is in the pits. He's getting wet weather tyres fitted. The two leaders, I think, have just decided just to keep going, basically. Yeah, they've decided to keep going. They're just going to hang it out as long as they can. Whichever one jumps first is going to be the driver that goes for it. That's going to be key. Whichever driver, one of those two, decides to pit, the other one will hang it out to dry. And I don't think they've got enough time. That's the problem. They're going to lose a lap. And unless one goes into the pit, the other one won't. And that's the problem. So depending on what tyres they started, which we don't know, if they're on the softer tyre, they will hold their temperature more. If they're on the medium tyre, they're going to drop off more. But at the moment, Romy is just breaking ahead. One mistake, one error in the next 5 minutes, and the lead could change again. But we're watching the guys who are currently on the wet weather tyres. They're not really going any faster. There's Fraser Rostans. He's down in the 50 seconds at the moment. He's started, don't forget, on the second row in 4th position. He started, and now he's miles behind, down in 14th. Lee Horn started 3rd, down in 19th. I think it was tyres, it was pure tyre choice, and that's really, really hindered their ability to go any faster, I think, and that's the problem. So he's going to be livid here with 5 minutes to go. In the background, the field's very spread out. Simon Trebek's on the back of Robert, the guy ahead in that yellow, bright yellow car, isn't fighting them as it stands at the moment. Yeah, that's Marco. He's just letting him pass. He's saying, please go past. Because Trebek is all the way down in 13th. And at the moment, there's Marco, and he's in 9th. Don't forget, Trebek went in the pits for wet weather tyres, and I think Marco's just stayed out. But Marco, as near as it makes no difference. Yeah. Everybody who's gone into the pits is a lap down. So everybody from 12th down is in the pits, but they have fitted wet weather tyres. The question is, how fast can they go? And at the moment, this section of drivers is 2 seconds a lap faster than the leaders. 2 seconds a lap faster at the moment. They need to get into nearly 6 to 7 seconds. Otherwise, they're never going to do it. At best, they have, on a 47-second lap, 6 seconds remaining. 6 laps. As you see here, they're not fighting. So that number 4 driver is Benny Norton at the moment. Sorry, Stu Neal. And Stu Neal is in 7th position. There's Benny Norton. He's in 5th. At the moment, Alex Axon is in 4th. These guys, I believe, are still on dry weather tyres. And they're just holding on to the positions. Robert is going fastest at the moment. So he is the leader, basically, of the wet weather drivers. At the moment, there he is in 12th position. He played the gamble. It didn't work. There's Trebek. He's down in 13th. The driver behind, that is Massimo. And he's in 6th position. So their field's all spread out at the moment. And behind Massimo is Stu Neal. So he's got himself up into 7th. I've seen him race wet weather conditions in other leagues, so I know he can do it. The question is, can he hold on to that position long enough? And that's what's going to be troublesome here. Jean Petra down in 12th position. He's not really making any progress. Romy is going to be our first double winner, as in first 1-1, because we've already had a double winner this season. So Romy is going to go and try and go for that and put it on the board. But he's in his own element now. In these conditions, he just seems to be mastering them. He's 3 seconds a lap ahead. But the other drivers now, they are starting to get closer and closer. Marco's on the back of Dario, riding on board now with Marco. This is 9th position. Just ahead of that is 8th position. So this is 9th and 8th. The battle is on. These guys, I believe, are on dry tyres at the moment. Trebek is a DNF. Bentisi and Andre Alberti are also DNFs. But at the moment, these guys are on, I believe, dry tyres. It'll be interesting to see if anyone comes and joins us in the commentary box post-race, because I'd be interested to see if they are on the dry tyres. That battle just kind of fizzled out a little bit, I think. That they're all just holding stations. So everybody from first to 11, basically, all the drivers that didn't pit are basically not doing anything silly. I don't think there's going to be overtaking because they can't. They just can't afford to make a mistake. They can't afford to set it up the inside. Marco, this man here in that bright yellow Honda, is making progress, but he's not making enough to really make a dent. Phil Garside's 12 seconds back, and behind him is Tamanga. There's Baz, who's on the wet weather tyres. He's in 16th position, and you can just see, he's made contact there with the front of Tamanga. It doesn't really, he's going to flash his lights a bit, Tamanga, but he's going to make no difference, really, because Baz is faster, but he's just not fast enough. That's the problem. There he is in the 5.11. Baz just isn't fast enough. He's just not making enough progress as it stands at the moment. I mean, they are mightily fast above everybody else, but not fast enough that it will make any real difference right now. The leaders are on the final lap. Everybody is going to unlap himself from Alex Ward, and Alex will just, no, he's not. He's not going to unlap himself. He's just going to carry on. So we'll watch Romy as he comes across for the double win. Race 1 winner and race 2 winner. He lost the lead, the weather changed, and Lloyd just couldn't put it together. Lloyd will come home in second position. No, he won't, because there's still a lap to go. I completely got it wrong. There's still one lap to go. We'll watch this man through. Benny Norton is on the back of Massimo. So there is a battle still to rage here. And this is the battle for 5th position. So in 5th position is Massimo in the Infinity. Oh, there's contact in the background. There's an absolutely huge contact. Dario has absolutely binned it into the wall. And is that Mark Sykes? Is that Mark Sykes? It is. Mark Sykes. Oh, he's lost out. He's absolutely lost out. Yellow sector 3. Does he lose out to Baz? Baz mugs him as well. That's the problem now. In the background, Lee Horn, Mark Sykes, Rich Weatherhill. So the battles are starting to rage. Benny Norton is on the back of Massimo. The track is absolutely sodden at the moment. That's a recovering driver, number 57, in the background. So that's nobody that's racing at the moment. Sorry, 27, Rich Weatherhill. So he's not going to do anything from there. But Romy should take that position. He did. Lloyd Bidoff is in second, and Mordini is in third. Alex Axon should finish in fourth, just enough. Massimo will come home in fifth, followed by Benny Norton and Stu Neal, highest finishing position this season so far. Marco will be ecstatic with that 16th. Dario brings the car home in 9th. Phil and Anton Tamanga are still battling each other. So Phil Garside is the car on the left, the number 66. The right one is Anton Tamanga. So these two will be battling each other to the line, but I think it will be Phil Garside will take that, followed by Anton Robert. He's got great speed. He just hasn't really materialised in the opening couple of races at the moment. He'll cross the line, tick that box. Fraser Rostam started on the second row, and he's all the way down in a 13th position. So it'll be interesting to see. But he's finished because essentially the leaders are finished. Alex Ward in 14th. Baz will be ecstatic with 15th. Marks will be 16th. Rich Weatherhill will be 18th, Jamie Dory will be 19th, 20th will be Pascal Trebek, Marco, and that. Let's see if I can actually get the finishing results. So there is confirmation of your finishing results. Andre Romme is first, followed by Lloyd Bidoff. Great battle between those, but Lloyd just didn't have the drive in the wet weather. Mordini is third. Is he? Mordini's third. Brilliant drive from Mordini. Brilliant drive from Mordini. I didn't really cover him. He just kind of kept out of trouble and kept going. Again, I think with the pit swaps, I think he got a lot of pull forward from that. Alex Axon's fourth. Massimo is fifth. Benny Norton is sixth. Junior is seventh. Marco is eighth. Dario is ninth. Phil Garside is 10th. On that one. Tamenga is 11th, Robert 12th, Fraser 13th, Alex is 14th, Baz 15th, Mark Sykes 16th, Weatherhill 17th, Lee Horn 18th, Jamie Dorey 19th, Pascal is 20th. And bringing up the field on the DNF, Simon Trebek, Marco Benattili, and Andre Alberti. It's not been a good race for Andre Alberti this time out. He's really, really struggled, I think. But again, it's the conditions. That's just how it is sometimes. Right. We're going to go across to the wheel, and I won't be putting my camera on this one purely because there's no point. So we're going to decide now the finishing where the grid is going to be reversed between position 6 to 12. This is done live, so we're going to hit the wheel, and we will see where the positions will be reversed. Last week it was a bit further, and it is position 9. So we will be reversing from position 9, which will be Alex. Oh, it's reset the whole thing. Brilliant. We'll be reversing from position 7, basically. So position 7 will be the reverse grid, which will be absolutely brilliant stuff. As always, we have to do this live, and yeah, it's going to be exciting, I think, to see how that unfolds. We've had Romy, which again, double victory, which will be absolutely brilliant. He's just found his legs in the BMW. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. But you know, and this day, on this day in history, that's just how it is. You know, you win some, you lose some, unfortunately. So he's going to have to really think about, I think, what he wants to do now and how he wants to race. So I think it's going to be tough. I think they've got a lot of. They're going to have to really think about how they want to manage that, because you know, Romy here could go for the 3rd win. He could actually go for 3 victories here, and he could take the Triple Crown, which I'm not sure if that's the first time it's ever been done within this league. It could be, which if it is, that would be absolutely fantastic. If that's how it was done. I'm not sure if it's still loading into the game or if my game has decided not to do anything. I think some drivers are still loading it. Oh, no. The server's being reloaded. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. Romy does have a real opportunity here. I mean, he's got 75 kilos on board. The problem is he's going to be facing some very tough drivers who... They're not just going to let him past. That's the problem. You've also got Lloyd Biddle just ahead of him. And Lloyd is an absolutely cracking driver. He's shown that. I mean, he's top 3 all the time. But those BMWs are just absolutely on fire at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting... It's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, if I'm honest. So welcome me back to the commentary box. This might be the last time this evening. It will all depend on how everything else goes as it stands. So brilliant stuff in that racing. Lots of talking points as well. There wasn't many issues really. The big point there was it was all to do with the weather. The minute the weather changed, we didn't know really who was on the wet weather tyres and who was on the dry tyres. Now I can only take the assumption that the guys that hung out were basically dry tyres or intermediate tyres. And then that's why they could hang on to the lap times. Now, they were only, when it started raining, they were 2 seconds a lap slower. By the end of the rain, they were nearly 3 to 4 seconds a lap slower. But there just wasn't enough time because there were 6 laps to go. And at best, they would close the gap by 24 seconds. So a full pit stop here is effectively a lap. it's anywhere between 46 to 49 seconds. And at the end, yes, the drivers were in the 50s, but you're not going to reclaim that time. And that was the problem I think they had. That was the problem that they had at the end, that they just couldn't. They just couldn't close the gap quick enough. And that was the problem that they had. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. We're going to have a quick chat over, see if there's anybody in the commentary box. There's nobody in the commentary box. It is what it is. So nothing at the moment in terms of any of the drivers coming up on the board, saying if there's anything that they've done. No. So there's nothing really on there at the moment. Nobody in the commentary box. They are fairly quiet at the moment. We'll see how that unfolds. Let's check the socials. We've got nothing on the socials at the moment. So fairly quiet today on the socials. But again, we did have to start the stream late on a different link. These things happen. That's just the way it is. So there'll be about a 10 minutes now until they get to the generally it's either between 7 and 5 minutes. They'll progress it forward. So it is still raining at the moment, but the weather forecast said light cloud and a gentle breeze, light rain showers and a gentle breeze. So this race will be wet. It's going to be a wet race. Someone's just loading in. So every so often when the game freezes like that, it's because somebody's loading into the game. If there's a massive accident or a massive crash, that's when the game kind of has a wobble. It just does. I'm not really sure how I can fix that, but I'll have a look later in the season. Marco has joined as well. So yeah, at the moment it's going to be tricky, I think. Who do I put my 50p on? Who do I put my 50p on? Still wouldn't count Lloyd out. Yes, he's carrying ballast. So between races 2 and races 3, the ballast is reset again. So the ballast is reset between every single race. And the ballast is based off the positions that they had from race 2. So Romy's going to have 75 kilo on board. Lloyd had 75 kilo in race 1 qualifying, and he was just faster. He was just fast. So it's going to be tricky, I think, on what we see. Where do I put my money? That's the problem. In these wet conditions at the moment, when we saw these at Donington, depending on how wet it was, the BMWs in the when you got to about the second half of the race, the BMWs were just faster. But Romy has to get through it. That's the problem he's going to have. Going to have very fast moving cars. He's got Massimo's up there as well. Alex Axel is up there as well. You've got Mordini, who's going to be starting in 766 in 5th position. Mordini's fast in these conditions. It's going to be tricky, I think, in terms of what they can do. But yeah, Neil Crave, nice to see you, Neil. If you've not followed Neil before, go on Facebook. He drives a van, not sure what I'm doing, he drives a van, and he goes round the country, and he's got a sim rig in the background. Check it out on Facebook. He's part of the Next Gen crew. Please correct me if I'm wrong there. Neil, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you are part of the Next Gen crew. Check it out. If you're thinking about joining sim racing, find him on Facebook and find out where he's driving his van. And I think you have to pay a fee. You'll probably just go on his Facebook, and he'll introduce you to sim racing. It's a great way of doing it, to be perfectly honest. It's very expensive in terms of your own equipment, and you might not like it, and he'll take you through it and help you. It's brilliant, really worth it, to be honest. And he's saying they're very open indeed going into the next race. Yeah, it is. And that's the problem. I'm not sure, for me, who I'd put my money on. Because if Lee, and I say it this time and time again, Fraser Rostance and Lee Hall in that race, they were nowhere. I think they had the wrong tyres at the wrong time. And the problem with that is they are now miles down. So I'm not counting them in anything. Lloyd Biddulph has left, but what we've consistently seen in races 1 and 2 tonight, and when we saw it at Donington, I'm not sure if he's cooking the tyres. because in the opening 10 minutes, he's rapid. He's so fast in those first 10 minutes. And then he just goes backwards. And he's just losing a lot of time. So, is that going to play out again? Romy seems to be controlling his tyres. I think he's managing his tyres in that BMW a lot more than Lloyd. But Mordini is fast. The problem Mordini's got is he's going to be punching a hole in the air for the guys behind and having to get past those front wheel drives. Benny Norton is fast as well. Alan Axon is fast as well. Massimo is fast as well. So it's all going to be, I think I did get the session results. Let's have a look. Did it pick up? Yes, it did. So it's kept it on the board. So Stu Neal's going to be on pole. Stu Neal, I haven't really seen. I haven't really seen Stu Neal's pace, if I'm honest. So I don't know. I think Stu Neal, I'd count him out. Benny Norton's fast, but he makes mistakes. Massimo's fast. So if Massimo can get past Benny Norton and Stu Neal within 2 laps, that's where I'd put my money. If he's stuck behind them and Alex Axon gets passed by Mordini, and Mordini is chasing Massimo before 2 laps, my money would be on Mordini. Lloyd, I think, is going to have a tough order, and I think Romy's going to have a tough order. I'm not saying they're not going to be able to do it. There could be an incident, there could be an accident. And that could change everything. Then you've got the Hondas of Marco, Dario, and Phil right behind. Those, I think, are just going to be fighting themselves. I don't think they're really going to be playing into anything here. So I'd be putting my money on Massimo. If Massimo can clear them within 2 laps, my money's on Massimo. If he's stuck behind Benny Norton and Stu Neal after 2 laps, Mordini will. If Romy can clear Biddulph and Mordini, my money's on Romy. And if Biddulph can clear Mordini and Massimo, with keeping Mordini and Romy behind him, my money's on Biddulph. And that's the way I'd put it. It's all to play for here, really. It's going to be a really, really tough race for the drivers that are left in there. There's 21 drivers left. So I think it's going to be a tough race. Bless you, Andrew. Pretty much nailed the angle I'm trying to achieve. Looking forward to the next race. Yeah, like I said, also because he's part of the Next Gen Racing Series, I'd recommend it. Also, don't forget to join us at Next Gen on the Discord as well. If you're thinking of joining, it's a great race series. Joining. If you think, I'd like to go in the commentary box. I'm always open to having some analysis in the commentary box as well. So don't, if you're thinking I'm not good at racing, I like talking, that's what I do, come and join us. And let us know your thoughts as well on the chat. Please come and join the conversation. As always, all I like to say is please keep it family friendly. And also there's always different angles to every incident. It's not just what we see on stream. And that's what we have to be careful of. As always. So it looks like it's going to be raining. There's a yellow in Sector 1. I think that's Fraser Rostand. Yeah, it was, unfortunately. Stu Neal's out there as well. So that it's going to be a wet weather race. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, I think. Competition-based hot lap, 50 minutes hot seat challenge leaderboard. There you go. There's a bit of knowledge if you're thinking on there as well. Competition-based hot lap, 50-minute hot seat challenge and leaderboard. Yeah. I'd recommend it. I think that's what you're advertising. I would really, really recommend it. The guys at Next Gen might shoot me for recommending it, but I think it's a great introduction. If you're thinking I want to do some sim racing, I believe you got R Factor 2, Assetto Corsa Competition, and Race Room as well. This is a very hard game to play. Race Room is easier, but Neil can go through you all that stuff as well. So there we go. Right, enough of that, enough of plugging some stuff. It's time to go over back to the racing. It's going to be 9 minutes, so at about between 7 and 5 minutes we'll progress into the final race of the season. Final race of the evening. It's just going to, it's going to be troublesome, I think. Do I think there's going to be some incidents? Yes, I do. because we've already seen that some of these BMWs have struggled. The rejoins have been a little bit audacious at the moment. You can't run the curbs here in the wet. If you do, the back will spin out. So they're going to have to really think about how they're going to manage this now. Tyre management is going to be a major problem here as well, because if they cook the tyres, they glaze, and then they don't, basically they have no grip. The front wheel drives in the changeable conditions will go through a lot sooner than you think, and that's the problem they have. Race control on the board, we will be pushing the warm-up session in 3 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark we will go to the warm-up lap. That's official from race control. It's going to be tough, I think. It's going to be really tough. And Lloyd is leading the championship. Well, he was leading the championship. Failing any incidents or accidents, the championship now, I believe, if we go across to the championship, no, he should still be leading it because Romy is down in 5th place. Alberti hasn't had a good run. Daniele isn't here, and Mordini hasn't had a good run. So, yeah, Lloyd could still be leading the championship by the end of the race, but not. You know, he's still fast, but he'll be leading it due to, unfortunately, due to other drivers. That's Jamie Dory. There was that incident earlier with Dory, and they all just struggled in the wet weather conditions. The car spun round, it just took people out. So, yeah, he really, really struggled. They're all struggling, to be honest. So, they haven't had much. I don't think they've had a lot of wet weather running. Ballast plays effect as well. The 75 kilos on board for the top driver going down. We run touring car ballast. That plays a major effect. The BMWs have an automatic ballast on board to try and drop their conditions as it stands at the moment. So that's really struggled. You know, that will really cause a delay to the cars as well. It's just, it's all to play for. As we go in now, it's usually you have an indication of who we think is going to be fast, who we think will be top of the tree. But I just don't know. There's too many variables, too many different factors that are coming into play here. So it's going to be anyone's game, I think. Anyone from 1st to 7th, I think it's going to be either one of those. Now, if there's a major accident going into the opening lap, it's going to be somebody else's as well. So yeah, it's tough. I think it's going to be tough. And if you're just joining us, we are at the Brands Hatch race circuit on the Indy track. And that's the kidney. We aren't on the GP because it looks like a kidney. Air temperature is a bit higher, and the track temperature has gone up by 2 degrees since the start of the event. It is the Next Gen Racing, a British Touring Car Championship, and that's where we are. And I am your commentator, Andrew Corley, and I am also the broadcaster as well. I do it all together in one massive fell swoop, which is why you just see me, and that's the way. So 21 drivers in. So we've had some DNFs already. So it's just, he's gone to the pits now. Yeah, they're all essential grid, all non-essential grids now. So here we go. All the drivers will get ready, and then we will go for our warm-up lap, as you would expect. And that's what's going to make it quite exciting tonight. The cars are all basically, they put themselves at that position. We'll go trackside because Romy's the first one on there. He's literally gone on and he's gone, I'm going. Some cars are creeping a little bit there. The game takes a little bit of time to sync itself up and load it in. It's 40 seconds they've got basically to get themselves out of the pits and into the circuit. If they miss this, they do not start the race. It's the same like in real life. They have to get themselves onto the grid. We will do a warm-up lap. Warm-up is going to be important because of the wet weather conditions. What we don't know is what tyres they're on, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, but that's just the way it is. And the question will be is, are they going to be on different tyres? We're going to have a look now. No, I still can't get... Yeah, I now have the ability to see their car tyres. Brilliant stuff. So they are all on wet weather tyres at the moment. So every driver is on the wet weather tyres. I'm not sure why they haven't progressed. They should be starting. The starting order is Stu Neal by Benny Norton. Stu Neal hasn't left. Stu Neal by Benny Norton, by Massimo, by Alan Axon. It's followed by Mordini, by Lloyd Biddulph, by Romy, by Marco, who's taken an immense amount of time now to get going, as it stands at the moment. On row 5, you've got Dario, followed by Phil Garside. On row 6, you've got Anton Temenga by Robert I'm not going to say his name because I'll do. On row 7, you have Fraser Rostance by Alex Ward. The two teammates still together. On row 8, you've got Baz, followed by Mark Sykes, highest position so far for Mark. On row 9, you've got Rich Weatherhill in the 666. Lee Horn in the number 18. Jamie Ori in 19th. 20th, Jean Petra. Really surprised by Jean Petra being down, to be perfectly honest. And bringing up the rear is Andre Alberto. So he is going to be wanting to really change that position from there. Stu Neal is not warming up his tyres, and he took an amount of time to really get that car moving off the line. So is he worried that he can't get the car away in these wet weather conditions? The rest of the field was waiting for him. It was lights out. He held it. He's going to start doing some warm-up laps. Now, I know Stu does race in real life. He races, I believe it is now a Subaru Impreza. Used to be a Honda man. So he is going to be wanting to do his warm-up practice. Benny Norton doing the old Weaver-Rooney's in the back, above all the other drivers. He can't pass Stu Neal, because if he does, he's going to get a penalty. There's the box. So they are all now filing into their boxes. Are they all going in? Yes, they are. We are missing one driver. Phil Garside, for some reason, is in the pit box. I think he's going to go for a quick change. As it stands at the moment. They're still all on wet weather tyres. That has not changed. I'm not sure what Phil has done. I think he's made a mistake. Unless he's going to take the punt and go to dry tyres. Yes. So, some of these drivers are on mediums. So according to the data, Stu Neal is on a medium tyre. He's starting from the pit lane. Phil is on mediums. Alex Ward is on medium. Fraser Rostance is on mediums. There's a couple of mediums in here. I'm not entirely sure that is the best option. But hey-ho, we will see. Lights out. Hold on to your horses. Engine notes rise. And all lights out for the final race of the evening. And Stu Neal, has he had a bad lap? Yes, he had. A look at Massimo. He's absolutely launched that car into the lead. He needs to do that. Mordini's up as well. Stu Neal has had a horrible first corner. He's down from first all the way into fourth. Romy, he's cleared Lloyd Biddulph. There's Lloyd in the background. He needed to do that. He needs no silly business here. As he goes round Stu Neal will block the likes of Biddulph. Has he done it? Biddulph is on the grass. Has that cornered him? As you see there, Robbie has done it. Robbie has gone up into the position he needs. Robert's all the way up into fifth as well. Lloyd Biddulph is down in fifth. He is not going to be happy with that, because his nearest competition rival at the moment is in fourth place. Romy is a car ahead, but he has the real opportunity here to get that position. That is Lloyd Biddulph. He's down in fifth position. A driver's already in the pits. That's Mordini. Is that Mordini? Mordini's gone in the pits. Why is Mordini in the pits? He's gone in the pits, but it is what it is at the front at the moment. Benny Norton's in second. Where is Massimo? Where is he gone? Massimo's in the lead. That's why I can't find him. There is Canuck. He's gone absolutely hell for leather. Romy has lost out to Bidoff and Robert. That's what I missed on stream. Romy made a little bit of a mistake there, and that's cost him real time through that section of the corner. And Lloyd Bidoff is now back up into third position. Romy here needs to get the lights done, but Massimo at the front is 0.8 of a second faster than the other drivers. That's what he needs to do here. He needs to do nothing silly, no heroics, and he's got it done, but he's not getting away. Riding on board now with Robin. He, don't forget, is in fourth place. He's battling the man ahead. That is third place. They are absolutely nose to tail at the moment through the right-hander. Jean Petra on the background, on board with him. He's going to go up the inside here of Stu Neal, and Stu Neal's just going backwards. Stu Neal is just going backwards and backwards. At the moment, he's struggling. And there's the BMW of Alberti in the background. There's the BMW, and he's gone background. So at the moment, he's just not having a good time as it holds on. Robert is on the back. Ooh, a little bit of a twitch there from the back of Robert. Robert is the second car. He's that number 16 Laser Racing Tools car in the middle of the pack. So he is trying to hold on to that as much as possible. The question is he doing enough to hold on to it? I don't think he is. Through the right side he goes. Nothing silly here to hold on to it. He's managed to get past Lloyd Bidoff, which is what he needed to do. That's what he needed to do if he was going to do anything from here. Through the right side. Oh, one of the cars is off in the front. That's Benny Norton. Benny Norton is off in the front. Robert's up into second position. He's absolutely loving that at the moment. Into second he goes. Right behind that is Lloyd Bidoff riding on board with him now, followed by Benny Norton, who can only sit back and watch as this unfolds. Romy's up to fourth. He needs to clear Lloyd now in the next 5 minutes if he's got any opportunity of going after the leaders. Massimo is 3.15 seconds in the lead. He took that opportunity off the race start and just handed his hotel key in and checked himself out. He's absolutely done it. Tomenga's a DNF, Mordini's a DNF, 2 DNFs already in this race as it unfolds. At the moment, through the right-hander we go, riding on board now with Romy. He is all over the back of Bidoff. It's raining hard and hard again. Keeping an eye as it unfolds. The rest of the field is pretty evenly spread out at the moment. Nothing silly going on as that unfolds through down the section of the hill, and Romy has not let this off. Fraser Rostamps, Mark Sykes and Baz all in the pit. They were all on the medium tyres. Whoa, Romy's gone side by side into Surtees. Somebody's going to have to give this up, and it was Lloyd Bidoff. Bidoff has given it up. So Romy here has a real opportunity as he gets himself into third position to go for the lead, but he has to now put the hammer down. If he doesn't get that done, he's not going to be able to do it, and that's going to be the problem. That's what he's really going to struggle with as he holds on to this through this whole section of the race. Through the right-hander he goes, down the hill. Has he done anything from here? Has he done anything different? Has he been able to deliver anything here? I don't think he has. He's just holding on to it in the Stephen Jelly car. Lloyd Bidoff is going to come under attack from Benny Norton, who was at one point in second position, but he lost out because he went off the racetrack. First you have to finish first you have to finish, unfortunately. But it's one thing to catch the driver, it's going to be another thing to pass them. And Lloyd and Romy is 2.6 seconds away from Robert, but Robert is on an absolute charge. The gap was nearly 3 seconds. It's now down to less than 2 seconds. So Robert at the moment, fastest lap, 52.153. He's nearly a second a lap faster, and he's just gone faster again. He's absolutely flying in these conditions. But is he a hot lapper? That's the problem, because there are drivers who are really good at hot lapping, but not very good at the rest. Jean Petra's just gone off the road. And he's lost out to Alberti. He's also lost out to Dario. Is he going to lose out to Rich Weatherhill? I don't think so. He tucks up behind Jean Petra. So Jean Petra's just had a bad day. He's just gone off the road again. So he's struggling. Lee Horn is on the back of Jamie Dory, riding on board now with Lee Horn. Lee Horn, at the moment, He is all the way down in 8th position. Just ahead of him, that is Jamie Dory. He's in 7th. He's scrubbing left and right. He's trying to get past Alex Axon. Has he managed to do that now? No, he hasn't. You can only watch. Just ahead of that is Benny Norton. So riding on board now with Jamie Dory. This is Jamie Dory in 7th position. Just ahead of that is Alan Axon. Just ahead of that, that's Benny Norton. So ride on board now with Alex Axon. It's 100% Paul car ahead. Through the right side, he's got Jamie Dory on the outside into Druid. Is he going to be able to do that through there? That's what's going to be very, very key. If he manages to hold on to it just enough, Jamie Dory puts it like a needle through butter and just spreads it in. Absolutely sensational stuff. Can Lee Horn follow as soon as well? Yeah, Lee's mugged him as well. Lee's just gone, well, if Jamie follows him through, I'll mug him as well. So Alex Axon lost 2 positions in 1 lap. Robert is now 8/10 of a second off the lead, 7/10 of a second. We'll watch that as it unfolds through the next 12 minutes of the final race 3. But Jamie Dory is now right on the rear end of Benny Norton. There's Benny Norton. Benny Norton's just gone wide. Just as we check to him to see the overtake, he loses 1-2 positions. So Benny Norton is all the way back in 8th position. Yeah, he's not doing very well, but the lead for the battle is on. Equal machinery, 2 different nationalities, both racing for the points. They want to be the race leader. Romy is closing. He's got the gap down to 2.9 seconds. So Robert needs to get gone here. If he wants to do anything. Lloyd is going slower as well. He's 1.3 seconds only ahead of the road of Jamie Dory. So we'll watch that as it unfolds, but this is the battle for second. At the moment, riding on board, it isn't the battle for second, it's the battle for the lead. That's what it is. This is second, that is first. Is he going to go up this inside? He's just not going to get it stopped there. That was very, very audacious. He nearly lost the rear end. Jamie Dory is attacking the back of Biddulph using all of the available track available to him, and he's going round. Lloyd is he's just not doing well in these conditions. So I'm not sure if there's something wrong with the car, if the setup isn't right, we run default setups in here, or he's really just not having a good day. That's the problem. And it could be the tyre choice he's got. Lloyd Biddulph is running on wet, so is Jamie Dory. So the top, anyone who's on the medium tyre now is not anywhere near that. So our championship leader is being attacked by Jamie Dory. So riding on board with Dory now, Robert has got past Massimo as that unfolded, and he's done it as well. Jamie Dory has just got past him. So Robert is now leading the race, so he got past him. Massimo's in second. Jamie Dory has got past championship leader Lloyd Biddulph. There is action all the way through the field. Alex Axon is now trying to attack the back of Andre Alberti. Andre Alberti in the BMW just ahead. Is he going to get mugged now as well? That's going to be the next question. As we go down into Paddock Hill Bend with less than 10 minutes remaining of the final race of the evening. It's all starting to settle down. Massimo hasn't lost out at the moment. He has. He's 1.3 seconds. He's going backwards. Robert is going to be another new winner if he can keep it on the track at the moment. He's lost a bit of pace there. Lee Horn is trying to attack back at Lloyd Biddulph as well. 10 minutes remaining of this race 3 at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit of the Next Gen British Touring Car Championship, and he's gone wide. He's gone wide. What is going on? He's just not finding any real... I don't know. He's not on the wrong tyres. He's just slow. He doesn't have confidence in the car. Maybe he doesn't have brake temperature. Maybe he doesn't have tyre temperature. Maybe he's damaged the engine. There's a whole host of variables, but Lloyd Biddulph at the front, championship leader, is coming under attack from 7th place man, who we're on board with now, and 6th place man. And they're all really fighting each other. So it's going to be troublesome. Lloyd's got to find pace. He has to have to really push if he wants to get away from these 2 attacking cars. BMW and Ford. Lloyd has gone defensive. He's got no other choice, but it will compromise his exit speed as he comes out of Paddock Hill Bend, as we go down Paddock Hill Bend, out of Paddock Hill Bend, up to Druids, and he's gone wide. He's gone wide. Is Lee going to get the car stopped? Yep. No. Oh, just enough. He gets a helping hand there from the BMW, and Alberti's just basically caused his own problem. And that little tap, trying to push through Lee Horn. Lee got a lovely little boost thanks to the BMW, and the BMW was like, oops, I shouldn't have done that, and he's lost the rear end there. Alberti's lost the rear end. Lloyd is just holding on to 6th position. The question now is, can Lloyd make any progress from here? Right, Dario is right on the back of Benny as well, so this is the battle all the way for 11th and 10th position. As it stands at the moment, in 11th position is Dario. In 10th position is Benny Norton. It is Seat versus Honda. And as we ride on board now with Dario, you can see there, that is the... He's run wide again. Every time we cut to it, Benny Norton just runs wide. He's really struggling. Pascal Jean-Petre is not having a good day in the background there. So they're struggling as well. I think the wet weather conditions, there is a drying line, so it looks like it has stopped raining in the final 7 minutes. So, but it's not, there's not going to be any real change. Romy is now on the back of Massimo, so Romy has absolutely turned the wick up to 11 with 7 minutes to go here, and he is fast. Fastest lap is still Robert in the lead, but it's only 3 seconds, and at the moment Romy is nearly a whole second faster than the rest of the field. No, he isn't. Yes, he is. He's a second faster than the rest of the field. He was 2 seconds on the last lap faster than Massimo, and Massimo is struggling. So he's just gifted the position, that little error there from Massimo, who was leading the race, then lost out to Robert and has now lost out to Romy. Can Romy get the Triple Crown win here? Because he's only 3.8 seconds off Robert, and Robert currently, we need to see his last lap time, 53.361. Romy last lap time, 53, 6/10 of a second faster, and he's 3.6 seconds off the lead as it stands. Massimo is trying to attack back, but I don't think he's going to do anything from that position. Marco and Alan Axon, this is in 9th and 8th position. This is the battle for 9th. There is 8th position. That is Alan Axon, Trip 6 Motorsport Racing car. What can he do as we go through the right-hand second? He's got this gap down to less than a second now. He's down into 5/10 of second. So can he do this? Yes, he can. Marco will be looking for that 8th position today. He'll be absolutely loving it. The conditions are now changing, and they're now getting changeable. This is where the BMWs, as we saw at Donington last week out, really came into their own. They just went faster than everybody. Now Robert is in a rear-wheel drive Infiniti, but the gap is now down to 3.1 seconds. That last lap out, he was another 6/10 of a second faster on the lead. We will watch that as it unfolds, but at the minute we are on the battle for 9th position and 8th. Riding on board now with Marco, he is chasing down 8th, and you can see there Alan Axel is being chased by Marco in 9th, is getting closer and closer to the middle. Lloyd started 6th and is now in 7th. He's 1 position lower than when he started, and that's really not what he wants to be, because at this current race he's doing 54.7s. The drivers behind are doing 54.1s. Fastest lap has gone to Andre Alberti. He's done a 51.952. And Romy is absolutely on it. He was a second faster on that last lap. 2 seconds is the gap now, and we've got 4.37, 4 minutes remaining, 4.5 minutes remaining of this race. 2/3 left, 1/3 to go, which is absolutely magnetic as it unfolds. The question is, where are they going to stack up? Lloyd isn't making any progress. He's managed to pick the pace up now to equal the drivers behind. But Andre Romy is on it. There he is in second. He's won race 1, he's won race 2. He so really wants the Triple Crown. He's 2 seconds to the lead, he's 2 seconds behind. He's getting closer and closer and closer. We're going to see the last lap. This is going to be important now. What can Robert do on the last lap? He's done a 52.5. This man did a 52.3. Robert's done enough. He has done enough. 0.2 of a second. The gap remains at 2 seconds. So the battle for the lead is on. My money was on on Romy. It wasn't even on Robert. He wasn't even in contention for the race win. Now he is. He's got, at best, 5 laps he has to hold on for. And he has to keep this pace up. He has to hold on to that, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose out. And there he is, current fastest leading. Isn't the fastest man on track. The fastest man on track at the moment is Andre Alberti, down in 5th, BMW. They're all now trying to sort out and try. Oh, that little twitch is going to cost him. It cost him nearly a second. That little twitch out of Surtees Graham Hill, not Graham Hill bend, it was the other bend. It cost him nearly half a second. It did, it's cost him a second. It's cost him a second. It is on. Romy can smell it now. He can see the victory. Romy's run wide. Romy's run wide. It will that have cost him the race victory. He's lost. He gained a second and he's lost a second. The problem is now Robert is stuck behind one of the Trip 6 motorsports. That's Rich Weatherhill in the 666. Has that cost him? No, it isn't. Or was it Mark Sykes? No, it isn't. It's Rich Weatherhill. As Rich Weatherhill just cost Robert the victory, has that little bit of a delay getting past cost him? We don't know. We're going to find out. 0.8 of a second. It's getting closer and closer and closer. He needs to clear this driver now. That's what he's got to do. He's lost a little time there. He's lost nearly 0.2 of a second. He got it down to 0.8 of a second. He's lost it. So Romy right now riding on board with him. It is now a straight shot to victory. There is another lapped car because it's such a race circuit. The lapped cars are coming into play here. But a great racing etiquette there from the number 67. Needed that. That was one of the Trip 6 Motorsport racing team. He needs to do that, and I think that is absolutely perfect. Racing etiquette from was that Rich Weatherhill? It was one of the Trip 6. Is Anton Temenga? No, it wasn't. Whoever it was, great stuff. 0.8 of a second now. It is on. He needs to get 0.6 of a second. He can see it. He can see the car. It's a 47-second lap. It's a 53-second lap at the moment. It will be this lap plus one more. That will be it. If he doesn't get the gap down any sooner, he's not going to be able to take the race victory. It is on. As we see now, Robert, he's doing what he needs to do. He just doesn't need to do anything silly. He just needs to keep it on the tarmac. A little bit of a twitch there. The rest of the field is a little bit spread out. I am watching the battle for 4th and 5th. As that unfolds, we'll flip to that right now as this is on. So that's Jamie Dorey just ahead, riding on board with the fastest man on track. Jamie Dorey's made a mistake. He's in the kitty litter. The car gets out the way. This should be job done. He just needs to park it on the apex. He's completely missed the apex. You can land an aircraft in that gap, but he's managed to stay on the dry line, and that's what he needs to do. He's just got to hold it enough, gives Jamie Dorey a little bit of a hey, don't come through there, and he closes that door. But I don't think Romy's going to do enough. They're going to get one more lap, and that will be it for race 3. Romy has been on it, but the problem was he got stuck behind other 2 drivers for too long. A 51.617 is now the fastest lap. He's going to have to do something heroic here if he wants to get this position, because Robert doesn't need to be the fastest man on the track. He just needs to be the widest man on the track, and that's what he has to do. He's got less than 5 corners left. There he is, riding on board now with Romy. It's been a battle to the end. This is the last lap. There is no more laps after this. Through the left-hander we go into Surtees. There's your race leader just ahead. He's got 2 corners to go. He doesn't need to do anything silly here, and he will be another race winner for the Nxtgen Btcc Racing Series. Look how much closer he is. Romy would have done it, but he's lost time. Robert is going to take the race victory. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Andre Romy takes second. Massimo was leading. Superb start from Massimo. Finishes third. Fastest man for one particular moment was Andre Alberti. He will bring the car home in 4th. Jamie Dorey will be 5th. Lee Horn should bring the car home in 6th, failing any silly business on this side. Marco is attacking Lloyd. Is Lloyd, well, he's attacking the back of Lloyd. Lloyd is trying to hold on to at least get some points this time out. He hasn't had a good season, a good race this week. just holds on to 7th. Marco finishes in 8th. Alex Axon will bring the car home in 9th. Dario was in 10th. We'll be ecstatic with that. Benny Norton brings that car home in 11th. He was 2nd at one point. Pascal Jean Petre, will bring the car home in 12th. It's just Jean Petre is fast in race room. He just hasn't been fast at the moment. He's a lap down. So Rich Weatherhill is 13th. Phil Garside is in 14th. Stu Neal is in 15th. Fraser Rostat 16th. Baz is in 17th. Alex Wood is in 18th. Mark Sykes is in 19th. Mordini is 20th. And Taminga will bring the car home. And that's how it stacks up for the end of the race. Right, we're on race 1, yeah. So, there is confirmation of your provisional race results. Absolutely superb drive from Robert. He did everything he needed to do. Wasn't even in the conversation of who was going to win the race. Brilliant drive in race 3. Romy, another superb drive for him in race 2. He's just found his legs in the BMW. Massimo in 3rd. Brilliant start, but it is what it is. Alberti wasn't really in contention, was in 4th. Jamie Dory in 5th. Lee Horn in 6th. Lloyd Bidoff in 7th. It'd be interesting to know what happened to Lloyd. He's been fast at Donington, and in these changeable conditions, he struggles. But it is what it is. Marco's in 8th. Alex Axon is 9th. Dario is in 10th. In 11th position is Benny Norton, Pascal Jean Petre. I'm expecting a lot more from Jean Petre, if I'm honest. I've seen him race in other series. Rich Witherhill comes home in 13th. Phil Garside 14th. Stu Neal 15th. He's struggling at the moment. He's fast in race room, but does that translate into fast in race factor 2 at the moment? No, but watch out for Stu Neal. I'm expecting him to get faster. Fraser Rostat's brilliant at hot lapping, but he just wasn't his night. Just wasn't his night tonight. Baz, best looking car on the field in 17th. Alex Wood is in 18th. Mark Sykes is in 19th. Mordini, expecting more from Mordini next time out, in 20th on a DNF. And Anton Tamenga brings the field home. And that's how it stacks up for tonight's racing. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff, as you'd expect. And that's how it stacks up. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant from start to finish. Lots of talking points, as always. We'll keep an eye on the commentary box for the next 5 minutes. And if there's nobody in there, then obviously we'll jump off for the evening. But Romy, again, that was Romy's to win, really. He's been absolutely on power and on form for the entire of this evening, and he took too long. Lloyd held him up too long, and Lloyd's entitled to do that, because ultimately it is Lloyd's race to, Lloyd doesn't have to give up the position. He doesn't have to relinquish the positions. They're all battling for the race win. But Romy needs to clear it. Now, the driver, I did not know how he turned up from that position, was Robert. He wasn't even in contention for the lead of the race, and he just turned up. He just mugged everybody, which was absolutely brilliant, to be perfectly honest. That was the drive of the night for me by Robert. He was superb in his driving in that race. Massimo got the perfect start. He jumped the two Pepper Army boys, Stu Neal and Benny Norton, which he needed to do in that race. But he couldn't convert it. After 10 minutes, he just couldn't convert it. And we saw that at Donington as well. So I think there's a little bit there for Massimo to do. Do I think he's going to be a race winner this season? Yes, I do. I think he is. For your Lloyd Biddle fans as well, do I think Lloyd's he just didn't like the conditions? We saw it at Donington. And he struggled in that midfield. Great racer, but I think he needs to do a little bit more defending, if I'm honest. I think he gave up some of those positions a bit too easy, but again, he's thinking of his championship. And for him, he's like, I'm having a bad night. Let's just close it off, move on. Let's go to the next race circuit. Yeah, so I think that's a struggle, really. I think he needs to look at that defending a little bit more. There's nobody in there at the minute. So, if he can, I think if he looks after that, I think he can go that little bit further, personally.
But it'll be interesting to see next time out. So, yeah, it is what it is, as we say. So, as always, like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on the channel that I've completely forgotten, YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. Come and join us on Discord, as always. It's a great place to meet people. It's a great place to come and learn about R-Factor 2. There is also other leagues. They do iRacing as well, so if you're into iRacing, I would highly recommend it. It's a lot more expensive, but it's, you know, if that's your thing, you know, come and join us. Other than that, thank you everybody for watching. It was a lot better this week than it was last week. We've still got a bit of way to go to make it a little bit smoother, but we will get there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening.